last time and shit. Like, I was making it more harder. Cool. Alright, what's going on YouTube? It's going to be Diet coming to you from Masao, Japan, Pinku style podcast studio. As always, got my guy Lex in the saddle over there with the fresh bikes, like he just waxed them off, washed them off, and everything. Where the FC at, man?
The FC is naked like a baby bird sitting out front.
Oh yeah,
Mike style rap, who was here, who was rapping the that one pod.
Yeah.
Took all of my stuff off, got it all fiberglassed, trimmed everything up for it to fit, sent it off to them. It was supposed to be done today, but you know they're very busy, and I appreciate my guys for getting me in. So they can be done Tuesday. So I'm gonna pick all of that stuff up, final fit, add all my little carbon accessories, and the car will be ready for Winter Jam. So yeah,
no doubt.
She's currently outside looking real naked.
Yeah, making it happen, man. Like that's plus, you know what I mean, definitely shout out to them because you know that's this time of year is like the hardest for everybody, man, because like, you know, everybody's kind of shutting down and gearing up for that, you know, that same old holiday stuff. My thing's a little bit different. I kind of shut down to the public, but I'm still running and everything, you know what I mean? So I'm like, actually the 22nd, I'm calling it a year for the customers, that way I can close my books and, you know what I mean, be done with that and stuff like that. So just getting up there, bro. I see you out there on the, like I say, the Windows XP background out there ripping it up, man. So what's up with that, man? Because that shit straight up looked like the hill over there on the right side. Like it looked like there could be like a track or some shit right there.
It was funny because my stopped working.
Yeah.
On my first session, for whatever reason, I had it on the charger and then it only had 30% battery when I got on the track. But that was the first thing I said, because it's like, it's dope to see the track throughout the year, right? It'll be green in the spring, then just dirt, nasty brown all year. Because, you know, we have like a starvation and you know, there's absolutely no rainfall. And then in the winter, after a couple of rains, it's super green like you just seen. So it was pretty dope. When I saw that picture, I was like, yo, that I didn't see the picture. And I was like, nah, I'll screenshot it. Like, that's the thumbnail.
Yeah, that looked dope, man. It looked like it was kind of superimposed, because I was like, is that the same track where you had the RX-8 and the what track was that?
This is Thunder Hill.
Okay.
And this is a track that I have not been on, that specific circuit. I haven't been on that track since 2010. So it was cool to get back to it and, you know, get my footing in the bikes on this track, because that was the very first track I ever drove on. And it was the very first track I ever did a bike track day on. So it was cool to return back to the big circuit. And it's fat too, man. It's real fat.
That's what I was going to ask you, man. So overall, what was your overall impression of the bike on that track and the flow of everything, and like how was it an event or just open track day?
No, it was an event. So the first event that I did, getting back out there with the bike, I did like the entry level base rider. Hey, my first whatever track day, I went there. The guys was like, oh, you should bump up. But I was like, nah, I'm going to stay right here because I want to work on myself, being around other riders, things like that. And then I got to looking at all the footage and I'm like, okay, I know what I want to work on from what I saw. I know what I want to work on from how I was riding. And I wanted to use the track a little bit more. So I stepped up to the next group, which is B group, intermediate rider, and then the next step up is A group. So I jumped into B group, went, had a blast, had a good time. A lot of the homies that are like proficient track riders, they're like, yeah, dog, you got to bump up to A. And it's simply because it's, and trust me, it's a lot of the bike, the turning and braking is me, but a lot of the bike just makes it look like a pass fest. It's not pass fest. I'm really like working to get in the striking zone on that, and obviously I have to go through braking zones and turns to get to that straightaway pass. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, the bike is just, that fucker's phenomenal. All we did was clip-ons, levers, and I did the chain and sprocket, which dropped a ton of rotational mass.
Mm.
So the acceleration, I mean, it's getting to the. I had to take it out of A mode.
Yeah.
It was like front wheels coming up every single time I got on the throttle, and but I got to work on like my throttle input, my aggressiveness going into braking zones, which led me through the corners right back onto the gas. So it was a tight workout. It was a good workout.
So I mean, so pretty much, I mean, it sounds like it is not. Is it still? It's still a regular street bike though, right? It can do the regular thing and everything. So
yeah, it's still in essence of how modded or stripped bikes are. This is far more modified and stripped than this one is.
Okay.
But this innately just has so much more power and capabilities.
No.
So yeah, it's still a street bike. We still got headlights and everything, and all of the hand controls, but we just don't have the mirrors and stuff on.
Yeah.
So it kind of, kind of looks like it means business.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Looking at behind it and everything. So now, like, I see how the stripe on the wishcone like kind of goes with the tank right there. But so I mean, for the guys who don't know, man, like, so because I mean, pretty much for me, they all look the same. So what would be like the straight up cutoff between other than lights and mirrors of a street bike and a bike that's just not streetable? Like, you know what I mean?
You getting into the realm of like pure track bike when you start stripping electronics from it. So like this bike will not tell you when it's in neutral because that's removed. There's no light comes on the dash to tell you that it's in neutral. None of that. All of that stuff is removed. There's no headlights, so all of those controls are removed. No brake light. Like when you pull, there's a little a relay when you pull the brakes, and it pops on your brake lights.
Right.
You have it on the front and back. All of that shit's removed. And I know in the car world, we're kind of thinking like, that's mere ounces and shit. It is, but those ounces do make up pounds, which makes lighter bike, et cetera, et cetera. So that's removed. The headlight buckets, the taillight assembly, and all of that stuff's removed. So this is a purely stripped bike. If you were to build a 13 and you just got your triggers that you needed for a couple of things in the engine bay that needed to cut on for 12 volt.
Right.
You only have your ECU in there, no headlights, cut out everything that ain't needed on the car, any extra supports and stuff. That's what this is. So this bike, still having the headlights, only thing the track requires is you unplug them, your headlights or your taillights. They just don't want people turning around and looking and seeing the headlights.
Gotcha.
So you just unplug your headlights and taillights and everything else is still a go. So remove mirrors. You got the option to tape your stuff off or remove it. And I don't like taping my shit off.
Yeah.
You try to do a good tape job and it still doesn't look crinkly.
Yeah. But that's wild though. It makes that I don't watch a ton of MotoGP, but that's true. I don't really recall seeing brake lights. So.
Oh yeah, that's the manly part about the track. This is all off of your sight, your vision. If I'm really close on a dude, it's your matter of fact, you know what it is? It's tandem because or sideways, you don't see the brake lights.
Right.
And you're right at that man's door and you're trying to go around the track. When they brake, you see the car's motion change. It's the same thing on these bikes because we don't have any indicating features showing you get on the brakes or nothing. You're paying attention to a guy in full tuck going down the straightaway. If you see that man do something like this, even if he hasn't popped up yet,
right?
He goes from full tuck to this. You better already be in your move as soon as he gets out wide.
Right.
He's getting ready to do something. Right. So. You either that or you're going to butt boost the shit out of them.
Yeah, and plus, like I said, on that level, you're reading body language, and two, like you can see that right foot. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they can look down and see his boot moving around. Maybe I'm wrong, but...
side, because if you're on the side, you don't see anything, but his hand go from full grip to go get the clutch, and he's about to throw downshifts.
Right.
Because most of us, what we do going down front straights, we do clutch and slip shifts. If you have it programmed in your bike, you can just stay pinned and hit the quick shifter, and it'll cut throttle and add throttle back once you do the shift. But us that don't, you can just cut throttle real quick on every shift, but you don't do that on downshifts. When you go to downshift, you grab the clutch, bang, 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 and then you run your downshift. So those are the things that you're going to be paying attention to, because especially if, like what the track is on Thunder Hill, what I do is if I see a person up ahead, I kind of back my pace off.
Right.
Don't see anybody up ahead, I'm going for what my talent level is and capabilities. I'm going like 155 before I even get to the brake area. If there's somebody occupying that brake area, I come up like maybe 140 and I start breaking it down before I get to them so that we coasting through the corner. If we're going neck and neck through that, I have to beat you to that brake zone, because once I beat you there, I don't even have to worry about what you're going to do. I claim that real estate in front of us. So, yeah, it's pretty aggressive. It's pretty damn fun, though.
And then, like, on that, man, like, it's like, it actually makes sense, man, because I'm saying it's crazy to not have brake lights, but, I mean, I haven't been in a race yet, motocross, but I've been on tracks where there's been a lot of guys, and that's true. Like, I went around some guys, not because I was fast, but because they were, like, checking some shit out, or maybe they had a hard jump and they want to make sure they didn't bend their shifter, shit like that. I didn't know actually happened out there. Shifters break and brake pedals break, and shit like that. It snaps off the aluminum. I've been pulled off to the left and check stuff too, but it's kind of crazy, man. You don't, and that's actually true. I don't really look for brake lights, even when I'm driving. It's just you just kind of reading that line and know how fast they should be going. And if they ain't going fast enough, that's when you go around them and everything, man. So for the bikes, so they got I just learned the dirt bikes. I actually rode one actually a couple weeks ago. It's called a Recluse Clutch, and I'm not sure if it's the same terminology for the bikes, but it's pretty much a clutchless. Like, you have your clutch, but you don't have to use it. You don't have to. You start the bike up, and you can just go. So it's like you still shift it, but you don't have to use a clutch at all, up or down.
Coming to a stop. You
don't gotta do nothing. You don't. The clutch.
So
the clutch is just there. Like, if you want to just yeah. It's like, it's called a Recluse, and I wrote it and I started up, and I thought it would start. I mean, he's like, dude, it could be in any gear. You start that shit up, it don't go anywhere. And also, when you fall over, you just pick it up and get back on it and keep going.
So does it work kind of like CVT trans, the inertia on like scooters and shit like that? No. Once the RPM spin up, then it clamps.
I'm not sure how it works, man. It uses your standard. From what I could tell, it's just like having a standard regular dirt bike gearbox, but whatever it is something they put inside of there, and it allows it to you still shift it like regular, up and down. You got to shift it up and down. You still got neutral, but you just don't have to. You don't ever have to push the clutch in for any reason other than wanting to modulate or do what you got to do with the clutch as far as raising RPMs.
I think knowing how like slipper clutches work,
a
ramping that the bike has, and if you take it apart, there's a free play amount. This isn't explaining it, but what happens is when you hit it, the clutch has enough movement for back torque that it doesn't lock at a certain ramped value.
Man, fucking internet right there.
Yeah. And we know how these automatic transmissions work on like scooters and shit. When you rev the RPMs, the springs or whatever is retaining the pads in go to a certain RPM, and then they go out and engage. So I'm wondering if there is a ramp value on that if it doesn't have a certain amount of inertia, it won't clamp the clutch packs closed. I wonder. I'm gonna look that up.
Well, right now I got it. This says let's off the Witchcom is the is recluse.com. Recluse.com is the REKLUSC. It says the Recluse auto clutches automatically engages and disengages clutches, not transmissions. It says one must shift the gears up and down just like a regular motorcycle with the manual clutch, your foot. It says a clutch feed and then modulation to lock out full engagement and the disengagement to prevent automatic sunlight. So it's like you kind of how you just kind of explained right there, man. It kind of cuts. It's a bunch more shit, but
what I know of motorcycle clutches. So they have a pressure plate, same as our cars.
Right.
For people that just give you a visual. So the clutches and the metal plates between them, they stack like pancakes. They go in a little basket that holds them there together. They don't have any play left, right, up, down. They can only go in or out, right? Then the pressure plate on a standard clutch, pressure plate goes on top of it. The springs, there's springs that screws go to clamp the plate down. If they're super tight, you get a very hard hit, quick, tight adjustment, quick, tight hit when you let the clutch out.
Right.
If they're loose, you can let the clutch out further, and it's essentially having less space on the pads or more space on the pads. Then when you pull your clutch, if you look at a motorcycle's clutch cover, there's a little that pulls when you pull the clutch, and it has a plunger, basically a throw out, and will pull the pressure plate off of the clutches. Then when you release it, it lets it go back. So I'm thinking how that works. And now you're gonna make me go watch a YouTube video on it. You
nailed it, because it says it broke. I found a army proof one, we call it, man. It says engagement as RPMs increase, wedges slide out, exp disc expands, and the clutch engages. So it's the same. The springs you meant, the springs RPMs, it kind of does that.
They're pretty soft, so it's acting as if it's got a very loose burnt clutch, and it can spin all it wants. But as you hit the RPMs, the way that it's ramped is then they'll close in and activate.
Right.
So it's almost like an automatic transmission, a semi-auto is what you're. Yeah, that's dope as hell.
Yeah, because I just sent it to. I sent the link to you. He because I got on the bike, man, and rode it. It was he's trying to sell it to me too. That's why he wanted me to ride it. I was like, but speaking on that, man, I got some this is online, offline. Well, yeah, it's kind of I'll hit you up off. It's kind of offline right now because there's some business stuff, but definitely we could talk about it. But it's in line with motorcycles and me monetizing. I only been riding 8 months now or something like that. But yeah, man, like it's money to be made here in Japan, and there's some things that I've seen that I'm new to the game, and I'm like, for me, man, I don't know how it is with you, man. When I get into some new shit, I get into it, and I'm reading shit and looking up shit, and like it's like weird. You get in the game, and it's like we said before, the young guys, there's a lot of young guys riding bikes, and they kind of don't really like, bro. There's so much data out there that I can go back in time and find out the history of the Kawasaki, Suzuki, like you know what I mean. When you just bullshitting and fucking around on the toilet or whatever, like you just learning shit, and like it's some stuff that they ain't really fucking with that they could be fucking with, and I'm trying to usher that in. Long story short, so we'll see how that goes, man. So that's all. But yeah, it's a pretty dope system, man. Then other than that, man, what else you been doing, man, since the last time we talked, man?
Got the RX-8 together. Yeah. Got that ready to go. Track day, couple of days. I'm gonna go right to the same track that I was just at on the bike, and I am going to explore that in the cars. Now, a lot of people have been like, "Oh man, are you super bikes now, or are you still on cars?" Yeah. I'm still 100% on cars. Right. Cars are my love. I'm going there to go very hard and go all out in this RX-8. Whereas I didn't go very hard and all out on the bike, obviously, because if you slam, you're hurt. So I'm gonna do that next weekend. Gonna have a good time with that, and then just getting this RX-7 back together to go to Winter Jam. And I don't know, but dude, with me, man, when I make a mistake, whether it's my fault or not, I've got a burning drive to go make up.
Oh yeah,
at
instantly.
Nobody thinks if it was fault or not. In me, I'm embarrassed, and I have to go. I've got to go like stake my.
What you gotta do is you gotta go check and make sure you still got it. Like, man, I know I'm slipping and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like that shit happens, man. And like it's kind of like one of those things where we mentioned before, man, where you gotta say what you gotta say to get it off your mind, or you'll just be home. Man, I should have told that motherfucker to fuck off, man. Or you know what I mean? And it's like you got to go back out there and make it happen, man. And I've definitely been there. Again, if this was like a big channel And
Mm.
dudes will say the same thing you just said, like, oh, you're a bike channel now and shit. Like, nah, I'm talking about whatever I'm talking about, who I'm talking about, so I can switch and make it flow instead of being a drift podcast, which you know how those kind of generally how they go. It gets stale. But the nah, man, it's like with the bikes I'm 38, but it's like you never can stop picking up new shit, man, and it's like kind of I'm gonna say not motivation. I don't pick the right words, man. It's just kind of
motivation,
like, right? It's got me all this shit to think about, other than like building this engine again, or mundane shit that's kind of mundane to me now, which is cool shit to other people. Building another GTR engine is like, all right, cool, here we go again. You know what I mean? But I'm putting pistons in the cylinder.
For sure.
Like,
it's like the bike. So like, I'm glad I fucked up in my RX-7,
right?
Because now it gives me a drive. I gotta go and show that I'm me,
right?
Still,
right.
And then bikes, it's like I once was up here. I dropped it all. I don't mind being back down here, but I like got this thirst to get back up here. Matter of fact, up here, past where I was with the shit, I want to get better than I was with the bike shit. And now for like my YouTube audience, they never have to grow with me as a driver.
Right.
I'm just, hi, I'm Lex, and I drive really good. I've got built cars. Where's the growth? You got to be like cool and keep coming back. With the bike thing, they get to grow with me because I'm being very transparent. Yo, I don't have enough talent for this, so I'm not doing this. But what you're seeing is like, damn, this mofo moving. Like all my real certified bike riders, track day rider dudes, my homies, they're hitting me. They're giving me a little bit of feedback. They're like, yo, you did great here. You did great there. I want you to work on this. I want you to work on that. And then I go, and then they see the foot. Oh, man, yeah, you're ready to move up. You're ready to do this. You're ready to do that. And one of my homies, he's like, yo, you need to do this. You need to jump up into this group. And I'd be like, oh, man, I just want to take it slow. And he's laughing. He's like, yo, you want to take shit too slow. He's like, you're fast enough. You're good enough. Do it. And I feel him. I fully understand what he means, because it's like, that's how I am when people are asking me shit about cars.
Right.
Bro, you got this, do this now. But my thing is that constant ramping progression. I want to have something solidified before I take the next leap.
Right.
Like, I won't modify this bike to, normally guys would be like, oh man, intake, velocity stacks, full exhaust, tune, let's go have fun. I got the fastest R1. But no, this was my dream bike. I want to get slow. I want to add parts on, go to the track, add some more parts on, go to the track. Yeah. And experience it each way it goes. So it's like, I'm not rushing the element of what's going to eventually be, but I just want to take my time and enjoy it. And then I get to share with my audience, this is my progression where I want it happen fast because I have previous experience on the bike and I'm comfortable on it. Like with speeds, people are looking at speeds like, God damn, that's crazy. And I'm like, it is, but I've got 20 years of experience doing that. So like, I'm super comfortable with it. So that voracious, insatiable, using all my TI big words, those like that inner desire to like, God damn, I got to get some get backs with this RX-7 and show people I'm still me. And damn, I got to get good on the bike, but show the safest route to getting where I want to be. Those two things right now are running neck and neck. And it's so funny. People don't understand my busy day-to-day repairing cars, basic maintenance on cars, updating and upgrading cars, and then doing the same thing with the bikes, and then trying to go out and ride them. Because like with my boy Mike, I tell him stop building, do more driving. There's enough
right
where guys just build 1 million cars and they just go to the background and then they start building another car. It's like, build the car, drive the car.
Yeah, man. I raised my hand on that, man, because that's why you notice on my thing I started putting up cars, man, because it's like that James Wood shit on was it Sims like ooh pizza candy type shit. It's like you're working on some shit and then like you say the memes where it's like that dude walking around the street and the girl and it's like your current project car and you're looking at another one. It's like yeah, and yeah, man. It's one of those things, man. What it comes down to, like we said before, is like we at a point in our lives we were wanting things and stuff like that, and then we get to a point where we can actually acquire them, and then also we get into those networks where you got dudes who got all this shit. Like, hey, man, we're all in the same boat. We got a bunch of shit, and it just kind of keeps going around. And you like, do I really need this this Integra, or do I really need this shell? So I've been turning shit down, but then I buy some shit, and now I'm like, I'm just if I ain't touch it in 2 years, man, it gotta go, man. That's just my. It's just if I physically haven't touched the car in 2 years, I haven't touched it. Open the doors and nothing. It gotta go.
That's what. So my newer RX-8, it's like it's not going nowhere. Like I think about it, it's like, when is the last time I drove it? Then I go to drive it and the battery is flat ass dead. What's funny is my insurance came up and they asked for your current annual mileage, what your mileage is. Man, I only put 1,500 miles on that car in the last 2.5, 3 years, and it's like,
so for that, for the insurance premium, that goes up or down?
It goes down because I don't drive.
Right. You're not you're not liable. Yeah,
I don't drive him. They're like, oh, he's all good, and it's like, I start to thinking like, damn, bro, I'm disrespecting the car,
right?
Because I'm using it,
Right.
It's so disrespectful to that car specifically because it's been my 100% ride or die daily driver since April of 2009, and in 2017, 2018, I just stopped driving it. It doesn't move. It's a lawn ornament, and it's like, damn, that's whack. Because fresh, like Mike would come by, or my boy Andre to help me do the fiberglass on the RX-7. He was just staring at both the cars like, God damn, those are hella clean, bro. But nobody ever gets to see them. But I had a pizza delivery yesterday. Domino's dude, he walked up, or Red Roundtable dude walked up, and he's like, he's ringing the doorbell, but I'm seeing him on the camera. Then I open the door. He's like, oh, hey. He's like, man, these are beautiful. And I'm like, thank you. But everybody loves the wide body one, but never drive it. And I'm like, nah, I got to start driving this car. And I put Jalen in it. Jalen and I went out and I let him take the car. This was his longest drive to date. Like, literally, you driving it there, freeway, back road, street. We went and drove it around, and he had fun in it. And we got back home, and I'm kind of like, okay, maybe this is what I need to do to get that car moving around more and serving a different purposes. Should it be my son's car? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Should he get he's gonna break it,
right?
Right.
Is he 16? Is the legal age there?
Yeah, he's still 2 years under it.
Right.
He's gotten tall. Like, he had this little growth spurt, so he was at the track with me, and Kat is like, why don't you have him drive it? I'm like, because he's still a child. It's like, although motorcycles, he can jump on it and ride. He could do track days with the motorcycles. They don't care. The cars, they're like, you got to be about 15, or they have what's called like a competency kind of inspection. The kid they just have to know that the kid can do what the kid can do, and he makes good decisions. So we're up for that next year. Okay. So I'm gonna let him do that next year, and then we'll legally, because I've already been doing it, I've been sneaking him on tracks, but we'll legally be able to do that, which is probably going to give us another realm of content, because he and I the track both in similar cars. Like, again, we got the convertible, we got the coupe RX-7, we've got the wide body, we've got the standard body RX-8. So it's like I can always have both cars on the track with myself and him. But then in my head, all that means to me is I need a bigger trailer. I need a better truck. You know what I'm saying? Because I need two car trailer, 2-car transport.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's definitely, man. It's I was at the track yesterday with my kids up in we were up in the mountains at the Kitty and Iowa, which is the track I've been at recently, and I was kind of like, I was luckily my guy James was there to help out. So it's really big. Like, I mean, it's about the actual, because I noticed every dirt bike track has like a little flat pad to do like your flat ground training and stuff like that. Then they got ruts and stuff like that too. It's about, I think it's about football field long. So like this is their first time, like, like really, really getting into it. And man.
Watch that one.
Yeah, that's from yesterday. And so what I'm planning on doing with that, I might not release him in sequence all the time, but I plan on doing 100 days of like Witchcom. You already see day 3, like my 5-year-old just jumping shit. It's like I didn't tell him to go over there. He was following the big kids, and with the big kids, they were like they looked big, but I think the oldest one was like maybe 17, 16, and he just got a brand new CRF 250. And so they were like getting it. So when they seen the big kids, they were shook, like, I don't know about this shit. So they were saying they were cold, and then after they went out and he fell one time and got up, then they didn't want to leave. So leaving, they were crying because they didn't want to get out the bikes and all that stuff. And I got to like bribe him with ice cream and shit, and they're like, no, I want to go more. So I was like happy because he's like, he want to go more and more and more, but they don't know how to shut it down. They're just gonna keep going. His mouth was dry. I mean, I'm talking about lips was cracking, like, and I gave him some water, and that motherfucker was. They just like, and they don't know when they're cold and none of that shit. So I'm like, man, let me shut it down for him. And but I like just both of them were like, let's go. After they were like timid when they first got there, so like I'm like, all right, they got it, man. Like that's the key, because like you can try to introduce a kid to some shit, they be like, man, I want to go play with Legos, man. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks. I know a lot of dads out there who win their cars and their sons don't want nothing to do with it. They don't want to do nothing to do with the bikes, and they just want to do like World of Warcraft or whatever the fuck. So it's like when they, it's cool to see them taking to it, man. And I hate to break it to you, man. Your son's gonna be faster than you, man. So
that's why I work my ass.
Yeah, I'm saying that too because they're gonna be faster than me.
But I'm gonna give you a fight, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give fools gonna be like, why are you going so hard on?
Hey, like the Mayweather Jake Paul shit when he covered his mouth with the glove.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be like, why you going so hard on the kid, bruh? I only got this amount of time to prove that I'm good,
right?
Because the guy's gonna go like this
quick,
and he's gonna be doing shit that I can't do.
Technology,
because I can't move like that.
Right.
I don't have, like you saying, your kids don't have the understanding of I'm fatigued,
right.
I'm worn out,
they keep going,
freezing. I ain't ate in 8 hours. The thing that I think as we get adulthood, we get further and further away from. We're thinking about too much shit.
Yeah.
We're thinking about, well, I'm tired, I'm hurt. Oh, I should shut it down early because I got to go to work tomorrow.
Yep.
Shit is getting us further and further away from fun.
Yeah.
Fun don't give a shit about none of what you feel.
Yeah.
Fun has to be had. And we start having our minds on everything else. And when you get a kid to pick something up like that, bro, you're either in the way or you're going to be got real quick.
Yeah.
And Wayne was saying that I've been chatting a lot with Shamar and being in the mix with Benadon and a lot of those OG Bike Life cats. They understand that their time is up. And these kids are coming at them full bore. It's those in the middle dudes that aren't as young and ain't as old. And they like, oh yeah, we still in the mix. But them youngsters is like, you ain't shit.
No.
And you rolled over. I'll burn you up.
Yeah.
Get with it or get left behind. Matter of fact, I'm calling you out. Show up. Let's do work. And then them in the middle dudes is kind of like,
Yeah.
Fuck you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because
But
yeah, that's true, man. Because you're like right at that point where like you're almost at the old, like I was say, people toss around the term OG a little bit too much, but the vet level, and then you know what I mean, you ain't what you guys call it, the worm guys, the dudes in the
yeah, the
squids or whatever. So it's like, yeah, man, it's like you got that, and like you 100% correct, man. Like when I'm on the track with the bikes now, it's like I'll do about what I'm doing right now is about 3 15-minute sessions is like my average. And at that point, I start, the arm pump starts to come in, legs start to get tired a little bit, so you just come in because the one thing you don't want to do is go one more lap out there and you can't fucking hold on to the bike, and that's where a lot of guys
it's my cutoff switch.
yeah.
Yep.
So is it the same for you riding a bike? Do you get that?
You do with age and your body will let you do. Right. So me, I've been living hard on Doritos and energy drinks. Yeah. So, so there will be times where, like I noticed it more the last track day, not this one. This one, I was in much better shape, I would say. Because progressively, I'm going to be more and more and more in shape, specifically to be faster on these bikes. But the last track day, a 20-minute session, I was dying. Right. I was like, okay, fuck. Yeah. Right? Oh, can I do 2 more? And I'm kind of just sitting there, kind of like half-assing.
Not in the gear is squeezing the fuck out of you.
Squeezing me. I'm not used to my shoulder. The shoulders hurting is the worst because you're holding your arms out, which you're moving around on. The fatigue gets so bad, you're like, okay, I gotta rest. This one, the only reason I would go in was because it was cold, and I was like, I'm starting to go faster and faster. I'm starting to push harder and harder. Experience tells me it's going to be that one more lap that I'm trying to do something courageous. And weirdly, this bike has a clock set up on the dash, and we're out at the top of the hour. We go in on the 20. And I'm looking and I'm coming around and I'm like looking at the clock and I'm still feeling good, but I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to call it right here. And I'm going to pull into the pits. It'll be like, 18 on the hour, and I'm only missing 2 minutes, or I'm only missing 3 minutes. Let me go send it in, because I don't want to get that in my mind where I'm like, yeah, we're rocking. See, in the car is different. In the car, my goal is like flag to flag, right? Especially when we're doing the challenge series. The challenge series is technically hot lap times, right? You go out there, you got the 20-minute session, the fastest time you can in that 20-minute session. It doesn't matter how many laps you do, okay? So you qualify faster, you get placed higher in the grid.
Right.
And since my car is so slow, but I drive it fast enough to be mid-pack, I'm in the mix with people. So my thing is I can't get the fastest lap that I can do unless I break free and I get open industrial area in front of me, right? That's tough, because if guys, how they grid you up, guys are going to be just faster than you in front of you and just slow enough behind you. So it'll be a good race. And it can get to a wheel-to-wheel race. So I might not get the chance to get my lap time in. But I'm going to battle. I'm going to go this fast, almost close to my fastest lap time, all 20 minutes long. And my goal will be like flag to flag. I'm not letting off until I see that checkered flag wave. So I can't quite yet do that on the bike, because my mentality, I know I'm going to try something dumb. But once I mature better in my head for that, I'll be able to do checkered flag, or flag on the bikes.
Okay. So I thought when you said flag first time, I thought you were talking about like the ARCs, the FC. So do you do that same thing with the drifting, or you just pretty much?
Drifting is really cool. It's so relaxed, right? And get to the point where if it's not competition, you can drive a certain way that's just zen. So in my RX-7, when I'm drifting, it's so easy on tires. All I got to do is just watch my fuel, because my gauge does work. But when it gets to about a quarter tank of gas, if I do hard transitions, the fuel slosh will starve it. So I could just sit in that thing lap after lap, bro, and just go for it. I got the new cooling system in it that works so good, it will make the car too cool. So now it's a hot lap car. And that car is so comfortable. I'm so familiar with it. I'm so at one with it. When I drive it, I could just sit in that thing all day and then look and be like, damn, I've been getting down for like 3 hours, you know? Let me chill. Let me go in and kick it. I have to remember, or I have to remind myself, go in and chill. Go pit. Mingle with people, you know, kick it, because other than that, I'm very reclusive as it is. If I don't go in and purposely mingle and chill, people would never see me.
Yeah.
They just hear me,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, reason I brought that up, man, because you got the guys who be like, you know, want to throw jabs at the rotary reliability, but they can get like a lap and a half and be in a thing like, hey, everything's broke. Everything it's like, hey, man, you talk about this shit, you can't even get. I'm talking about RB, Jay-Z, LS, all of them, man. So I do that. I actually what I do at my track when it's not, we don't do events unless it's called the event, but other than that, it's just track days. But you'll see dudes out there getting like 3-4 laps, and I'll be out there from the whole session, man, and then some, and then like this becomes my party, and this becomes the whole everybody looking at me, and I do that. 2 reasons is straight up is to prove reliability, you know, and this was before my shop, and also it's just to show like setups, man, because a lot of guys they go to these different shops and the guy preaches their setup onto the customer, which that's one thing I don't do in my shop. I don't, you know, I'll give advice, but I don't try to mirror I don't try to mirror my customers' cars to my shit. Because the way I drive and what they do, like I say, to be brutally honest, is like 1 or 2 guys in town that can drive on my level, but nobody's above my level. So ain't nobody really, you know what I mean, ain't nobody doing that. So they don't need certain things, and then certain things they do need, you know what I mean, that they don't have, and that equates to them not getting, they can't do a full 15-minute session from start to stop, or 20-minute session start to stop. They could do like 10 minutes, come off, you waste 10 minutes, you know what I mean, you're losing your money.
Right. And it's funny you say that, because when we went to the track, there was another dude from Instagram there, and he hit me up in the DMs like, yo, I'm going to be there. Let's ride. So I'm like, okay, cool. He spent his whole first 15, 20, I think 40 minutes, which would be prep time before tracks went hot,
right,
over getting his bike tuned. Dave Moss tuning. Dave Moss was there. Dave Moss, you can look him up on YouTube. He is a tune god, right? He does a lot of tuning on people's bikes at the track. They're set up. He offers you a service. You pay for it. You go out early in the morning. You come back in after your session. He looks at it, suggests changes. He'll make them. Then you go back out and ride again. The goal is so that you understand that the bike constantly can evolve throughout the day. But my homeboy that was there, he went and got his bike set up earlier in the day, and he's like, oh man, I'm down at like, he asked me, what's your tire pressure? I'm like, I'm setting mine at 32. Reason being is because track is a little cold, so we'll act as if it's street, right? Because you never want to push the bike super hard on the street. You always want to act like it's a surface that you could slip on. Secondly, I'm a bigger dude. Third, the front suspension on this bike is a little soft. It can always use some improvement. So I set mine at 32. The Dave Moss dude set his bike, and he's a bigger dude like me too, but he has the BMW S1000, which automatically adjusts. He set his suspension or his tires at like 24. I'm like, damn, that's pretty low, you know? So he's like, yeah, you should go get your bike set up by Dave Moss. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Ironically, I've watched so many of his videos, I kind of have an idea of it, right? And then I went to a tire dude that told me specifically about the tires that I'm using, what temperature range they like to be in, and what tire pressure they like to be in. I'm sticking with the tire dude.
Right.
Everything. Not saying Dave Moss's setup in theory is going to be bad. Tire dude, seen those tires on the bike, said you need to be at this. It worked really good the last session. It worked exceptionally well on this one. Whereas the dude kept going in to get his bike adjusted, changed after every session, and he saw I didn't. He's like, "Damn, man, what's going on with your bike? You know, is it like that good?" I'm like, "Well, I made my suspension changes prior to, and my tire pressure is set how it is. All I do is check and maintain, and that's how my cars are. I set those up. I check tire pressures, I set and maintain throughout the day. And it just maximizes your time on the track. And when it's the relaxed session, the cool off session, you could actually chill and relax and cool. I'm not running trying to make changes on anything. I'm not trying to mentally find where I'm going to pick up comfort. And I'm comfortable on the track. So it's all relaxed even when I'm out there doing work.
Right. And with that, on a bike, I'm pretty sure it's the same inertia and all that stuff. The bikes, I know he said his PSI is lowered. Or is he accounting for thermal inflation? Is that the thing on bikes too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they'll heat up very quickly. So given the temperatures, obviously, and the guys, Dave Moss is so tuned in. He's telling guys, drop your pressures. By the next session, you should see 4 PSI up on the back and 3.5 up on the front. And I'm like, damn, he's, and the guys can damn near go out there, come back in, and if you however many laps the whole session was, it could be right on,
right,
spot on.
Because you'll see a lot of guys out there. And I was at Tsukuba, and guys didn't, I'm like, I'm gauging whatever, blah, 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 but they don't know how much experience I got. And I figured they would know that. And it's kind of, going up to a random guy you don't know him, hey, man, do this, kind of like, who the fuck are you? And kind of deal. So it's like, I just see him, and I see the guys, they come back up from their lap. They don't pull out no gauge, check no prep. They just go back out. And then one guy in front of me, like, straight up spun out. Tires got rock hard. You know what I mean? Because he probably came there on whatever PSI, and that shit went up 10 PSI.
Yeah, and not even that, right? I watch guys will go in, come out, go in, come out, and their car is so much more different later in the day. You've picked up PSI. The carcass is shaping differently every time you're going out on those corners. First, the carcass bent and flexed with your car, added some spring rate, right? Then it got stiffer, and you don't have that spring rate anymore.
Right.
Now, if you're out there and it's stiffer and hot, now your tire's greasy and just not holding grip. So I don't know, guys that are listening, if you've ever gone to a track day and let's just say grip or even drift. And drifting, it happens quicker because we heat tires up way quicker. You're like, damn, this shit got no grip now, right?
Yeah.
Look at it, and you actually still got tread on the tire, but you're like, why does this shit respond so slippery? Grip guys, same thing. You'll be out there like the car is hella loose now. It's sliding all over the place. I can't hold the corner threshold speed that I was before. It's spinning tires coming out of corners. And you're looking at your tires and they got tread. Tire pressure's high and the tires are hot. Where Von Gittin was saying that he would take the car out of the burnout box when it got to a certain temperature. That's why, because there's 2 factors that those tires are going to have for their mechanical grip: pressure and temperature. So, being able to use the amount of flex that the carcass has helps a lot. And once you get to that point, maintaining that tire pressure is a good thing. There's certain tracks out here. I don't know if they do that out in Japan. There's certain tracks out here, which mainly is in the south and northeast. They have puddles of water that guys drive through them slowly to try to cool off the surface temperature of the tires. We don't do that out here more or less because ambient doesn't get that hot. But yeah, that's their idea that they're thinking to make their tires last longer, extend the life, drive them through some water and cool them down.
No, they don't do that here, but the guys got into the DIY, putting like the repurposing the pretty much the goddamn windshield wiper nozzle, and they put them on there and hit it for like, and it's a program it, and as you're driving, it kind of goes there. One thing I see with that, man, is you know how at the end of the day, tires are still good, but then you pick up all like the marble and shit, and then you like you gotta like literally like peel, like you could try to take that shit off or skim it off, or you could just do a lap and it come back and the shit's all clean. People like yeah, the shit gets heated up and they fall off. Because a lot of that stuff, man, when it does that water will essentially cool those marbles into your tire. It'll mold it.
Yeah.
For like that for temporarily, and then you'll go out there and your shit be all, you'll feel a goddamn, feel like a yeah. So and then you got the guys too who I did it, you know, as a cool factor. But you know what? As I got to the game, man, take off the goddamn the stickers, man. Like it's just.
Yeah.
You don't need that, you know what I mean? Because I did that shit before. The last time I did it, I went out the pit straight spin out in front of a full gallery. And the reason why is because, I hit the stickers. And she was like, you can hear the stickers. And then everybody's like pointing and laughing because you can see they got ripped off and everything. But yeah, man, you do a burnout, they go anyway. I mean, you know, you could do a burnout, flash them off in a second. But I just pull them off and hang them in my trunk or hang them up on a wall or whatever, or something cool with them, and paste them on a tire machine. But the one thing I want to talk about, man, real quick, because we don't want to make this a long one, because we're gonna have a guest on tomorrow. I seen the I'm not sure if this is the first thing I've seen the what is it, the those are damn magazine cover, LZ's Invitational joint, and it's a top 16 drift battle exhibition at was that Orlando Speed World OSW.
Yeah, so, he's using the bowl and the skid pad, and
I'm trying to figure out when are him and Brap gonna cross paths, man, because he's got the LS BMW now, and he's.
You know what's interesting that I'm seeing about Brap and his characteristics, or not his characteristics, but his personality and stuff. He, and this isn't bad, but Brap is all about money right now,
right?
And he may just, cross over to do something else to get the experience, I should say. But right now, he's doing what's getting him money. He's lining
the clothing stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's like every single video, every single post, every single story. I had to mute blood because this is like, I'm tired of being told to go buy your clothes. I followed you because of personality, riding lifestyle, whatever. I'm tired of seeing a commercial from you every time. So at the moment, he's into the raffles, the giveaway of equipment.
That's a go. I got my I got my.
So, how long has it been since we even saw that car, right? Then you and I know we're both technical people. When we saw him use the Beamer for a video and he had less than 10 volts coming from the alternator, brother, that car is dead. You know what I mean? It's down to 9 volts and you're still trying to drive. Brother, give up the ghost. That car is dead. Why that shop keeps letting that car go to him?
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Because I enjoy for the other content and everything, and like you said, it's kind of getting that. My thoughts real quick on Candid is the raffle thing is a road you start traveling down and you start seeing numbers pop up, and some people they don't know how to get out of it. And like there's I got like one thing, for example, like my Drift and Goku and my option magazines at the end of the year, so I dropped the prices because it's a one instead of being a subscription, it's one shipment, and I got a bunch of shit left over. I can give out a couple whatever because I got I got too many magazines. So I mean, that shit like a cool giveaway where you ain't, you know what I mean, you already got the stuff or whatever, and it was whatever. But when you start getting into that, you're essentially buying.
I mean, he gave up the Stimmy bike first, right? $100 buy-in, woo. Now he's giving up old school CR on whatever the
one,
price.
185 or the I mean, CR 85, yeah.
Now he just bought the 450, and where you kind of be like, content creators, they do weird stuff. So when you buy something, you could already have in your head you're going to give it away, but you just bought it, introduce it to the channel, and you start ripping it. Your fans are going to be like, oh, hell yeah, he back on a 450. He about to rip. He about to ride. You make 2-3 videos. Those videos probably pay for that bike. Then you say, let me get more money out this bike. I'm going to do a giveaway on it. Now it's like, come on, nigga. Like, I thought, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I thought that was going to be something we were going to see you rip on. Like, come on, bro. Now, okay, now you're giving that one away, too. Now what's the buy-in going to be on that? Now we're going to have to go through a whole nother season of buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, enter this giveaway, enter that giveaway.
Yeah, what he's kind of doing is he's kind of publicizing the hustle, man. Like, you know, certain things you don't. I catch myself on it too, because it's like, you know, it's nobody's business whatever you buy and sell something for. People try to get in there and I shut motherfuckers down, like whatever on that. But as far as like if you publicly go online and say, hey man, I'm going to scoop this car for 500, and then turn around and we see it, we follow you, and then try to flip this bike for 5K on like what you're saying, exactly what you're saying. So people like you see it, and then but other people who are just watching, they looking at a chance to get something for free when, you know what I mean, it you know, not knocking the hustle, but at the same time I kind of skip until like if I do watch the videos, actually watch, I skip about 4 minutes ahead because I know the first 3 minutes is just nothing but, you know, the parrot, yeah.
About LZ, very rare unless there's a big sale. And we know how it is. He might have merchandise that he's sitting on for a minute. And he's like, yo, I got this on the site. I got this on the site. I got this on the site. Hit the site real quick. Buy. And then they bounce out to content. That is something that LZ does very well. He balances it. He makes it entertaining where it's not pushy. Right. And then he gets to what you came to the channel for. He doesn't mention 5 times through it, even if it's in a joking manner. He doesn't mention 5 times through the video, buy this, because, you know what I'm saying, whatever. What ends up being the thing that I feel is weird is the guys just, like, I had a homeboy that bought an IS300, and he was did a 1J swap and was like, oh, I'm going to get into drifting. And I got hyped for him. Like, oh, that'll be cool. I want to see you get into drifting, and I want to watch you closely and maybe help you. Then I'm going to raffle the car. And you didn't even use the motherfucking car, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. You know, I get it. Get that bread, because I know how lucrative they are. Those raffles.
Well, that's why I heard. I seen the. I didn't know it was a thing with guys. A guy put in a comment, and I got it's like, I feel like a goddamn old head when I don't know what's going on. But he's like, the dude was like, change that. He said change the R to a W because they're like the term raffle
versus the waffle. Yes,
yeah,
that's an thing.
The term raffle is being targeted by because it's technically illegal. The way, you know, like the Omaze one that they pop up, that shit's popping up in all of them videos, which I don't know anybody personally that's won anything from that shit. And the Omaze, but that shit is legit. From what I can tell, they're going around. I don't know,
like what Brap is doing.
Yeah. What
LZ does, and a couple other guys are caught on to. The Street Speed 717 dude does this too. You buy something, physically buy something from their business
Right.
enters your name to be picked.
Right.
If you're offering people buy this ticket for $150 for a chance to enter this raffle, well, that's where the gray area gets.
Got you.
You know, that's where. See, if you're under a structured business where you're buying something, your purchase was to this shirt, this jacket, this backpack, this hoodie, this lanyard. And then per what your purchase was, it had an amount of entries that were lined up on it.
Right.
From what I've heard, that's good to go. When it's just like, here's a carnival ticket, nigga, you bought for $150. That's where it's like, all right, fam, you got in the area that Uncle Sam want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
And that's people get into trouble. So when you're promoting that on your Instagram, those raffles have been getting hit. And my boy knows a guy that works for the IRS that says, yup, we look for that. And that's how some people are getting in trouble. But the way around it is having something for purchase that is an entry that, you got tied to it.
Because everybody, I mean, look, you go to 7-Eleven, you buy two, get one free.
Yeah.
That type of shit. So that merchandise in there is still accountable, but what they do is when they ring you up, people who don't pay attention, they ring you up, they always got this other button they hit that says, all right, 99 cents minus. So you'll see on your receipt that amount is there, but it's minus, and then at the end of the year they total up. That's a tax write-off, by the way, if you guys don't know that. The discounts, and all that shit like that. I need to actually learn how to work that shit in Japan because, I mean, I used to give them, but I took them off. I just kind of I don't put discount on my invoices anymore because I can't account for it. I don't know it's weird over here a little bit with the taxes. So, but discounts and what's that, rebates, all that shit's write-offs. It's just a way to make your taxes less. So there's a lot of games out there you can play and all that stuff, man. But yeah, I just kind of brought it up, man. It kind of seemed like that was on your mind, and I kind of was, I mean, I didn't watch. I watched it when I first talked to you and Shamar. I was watching a bunch of stuff, and I kind of tapered back off because that, respect to it. But after a certain amount of movies or watching dudes Willie, it's like, all right, cool, I got my fix on it. And unless you see some crazy new shit, and then you kind of go back to it. Then I got into MX, and I've been watching a lot of MX stuff, man. So that don't really apply to what I'm trying to do. But then it's like, I kind of go away. Then I see because he's starting to do the hypercar, supercar stuff. I'm personally not into that, and I don't matter who it. Nothing against Brad, but I'm just not into. That's not my. Even when I get the cash like that, that's just not what I'm going to do. It's just not me. You know what I'm saying?
What about Brad is I can't take him seriously with car stuff because I know he's a car guy.
Right.
Say certain terms of things that has nothing to do with what he's talking about,
right.
And it's like, God damn it! Like I could if you just say I don't know shit about these cars,
right?
I just like this.
Yeah.
But when you start saying stuff that is seemingly more technical than your knowledge, miss me with that. Please don't do that.
Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It was hard for me to watch the one where he was trying to do the little cul-de-sac. I'm like, dude, I know exactly what's going on. And then we pick up the car. I don't want to comment and seem like because everybody say, hey man, do this, do that. I'm like, I don't want to get in that group of dudes because they're not gonna read that shit. And it's like, do this, do that, blah blah blah. And then, but I'm like, what you need to do is find another fucking shop. That's my, what I mean, straight up and down.
Because literally, why did they sell him that car and it hasn't been up to par just yet? There's a lot of potential in it. We know E36 chassis got great potential.
Right.
V8 has great potential for it to be reliable, problem-free. And something as simple as low voltage, and then this guy absolutely has no clue how bad voltage drops could be, and he's still trying.
Well, that car should have been picked up with no tune on it. I didn't get that part either. You know what I mean? So we trying to, guys that are listening and watching, we ain't hating. We're guys that have been in the game. I would not let a car like that out my shop. that would not happen. Number one, the reason why that happens, and this is what I'm talking about, guys, they're getting business again. The reason why that shit like that happens is because guys get too friendly and they like, oh man, it's cool. We'll handle it. Like, nah, bro. Like, business is a set amount of time, set amount of it's gonna cost this much. And when you start trying to, I'm pretty sure he didn't want to sink money into that shit like that, and probably was like, hey man, just get it done as cheap as possible. Because I don't know Brett personally, but I kind of can pick up on he kind of like don't want to, he want to maintain certain things as far as money wise and kind of control too. And it's like, hey man, this dude, just put it in there. That's why I was like, he was saying there was a wait for 3 months or something like that. I'm like, what's 3 months? I don't see 3 months wait for nothing there.
And that's
other than parts waiting.
And that's why the car doesn't show up that much on the channel.
Yeah.
What happens is he'll get it, he'll try it, he'll be excited, hype. All right, guys, we're gonna do this. Start making merch about the vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Then he picks the vehicle up, tries to drive it. It don't work. I fuck this car. And for somebody that's making the money that they do, you can say, fuck that car, go back over there, because they're not he's not worried about it. Y'all fix this. I'm gonna go make this content, and I'll be back in a couple months to go figure it.
And for the shop thing, man, I mean,
don't fix it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be like that. That right there, man, is not a good look, and then it's not. You know what I mean? It kind of, when you start getting that, because look, man, it's a business thing. When you hit a business partner or a customer that seem like they got the bankroll and you can keep rolling it, it's like it's a mutual thing. They want to use you for your service, and they got the bankroll, and they make it easy, and they're pleasant to deal with, and it's easy money. You know what I mean? That's comes down to easy money. So when they see that, oh fuck, man, this dude, YouTube, blah blah blah, he's about to hit 1 million subscribers, this and this, he can push it out. They see that and they jump on it, but they're not being smart. Like I say, man, I respect the grind. I respect all the guys. I respect what Brap does, because now riding bikes, man, just like getting a little willy, I'm like, man, like calm the fuck down, man. These bikes are but what do you say on Donut? These dirt bikes are out of control and shit like, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like when you get on a bike, you really respect what these motherfuckers do on these bikes, man. So respect that, but at the same time, I don't give a fuck how many subscribers he got. Brad ain't coming to my shop and run a shop like that. Never. It ain't happening. He ain't doing no footage, none of that shit.
Yeah. So like me, right? So imagine I started my YouTube channel and it was kind of booming a little bit. Let's just say moderate level, less than 10,000 subscribers, but getting, let's just say 2,000-3,000 views every video, right? Back in the day. 2010 is when I started building my RX-7. Out of respect for Justin not having a camera all in his space, I didn't document a lot of shit.
Right.
I would film things when he wasn't in the mix, busy doing stuff. I would film, talk about it, blah, 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 and just put it up on Facebook. But imagine if I documented the build.
Right.
Right. And used, I don't know, whatever impressionable influence I had at that point in time to send RX-7 business to him.
Right.
Because I'm a pleasant person to be around, funny, chill, whatever. We enjoy our time kicking it. And I also spent that money that was requested because it wasn't done for free. This is a handshake deal, bread, time, product, right? Think about that. We built that car one time, and I've used the shit out of it for 10 years.
Yeah.
That, you know what I'm saying? Like, he worked, got shit done, got shit perfected. We did follow-up tunes and modifications, but that's it, right? Isn't a shop. Like Aaron Lucy just made a video on the Lone Star Drift channel about drift car shops just being prone for failure. Why do they fail? Right? Now, Hotline isn't a drift car shop. You're not going to go there and say, here's my car, make it drift. Hotline is only for Justin's interests, right? I just so coincidentally been able to get my car built from there, which means that exacted time and focus that he puts into his own program, I got a little bit of that, which gave me a stellar car. There are shops that see opportunity, get the money, get the influence directed to them, and then they'll put out a piece of shit car.
Yeah.
Big whack vibes. That's kind of what kills the scenes a little bit, right? And then if it's a dude,
that shit right there, man.
yeah. And then if it's a dude that has the money but doesn't have the focus because he's everywhere,
right?
Like Mike, for instance. Let's just say Mike, right? For instance, one of his, we'll call them hero cars because everybody's channel has one. One of his hero cars on his channel is his 350Z. He tried to champion the DE engines. They kept exploding. He puts in a V8. Then he goes to this paint shop. The guy is a piece of shit. Keeps painting the car like shit. This one shop says, hey, this is essentially what they're saying. Hey, bring your influence and your following over to us. We're going to do amazing work for you. We'll get it done in no time. Right? This nigga has not had his car, and I gripe with him about it all the time. He has not had this car. He's gone to the shop to see it. He hasn't had his car, I don't know, 8 months. For a simple paint job, bro. And I rub it in his face all the time. Every time I take my RX-8, drop it over to the homies, they paint my shit in 3 days, and I get my car right back. I'm like, cuz, I've had 2 paint jobs. Good, clean paint jobs. And you still haven't even gotten your headlights, taillights put back in after the car's supposedly already painted. It is painted. I've seen it. He's made videos of it, whatever. But the point is, why is it that shop owners, why do they do that? What is it benefiting you to have somebody of influence that you want to work with? Because 9 times out of 10, even if the guy reaches out to you and says, hey, like in Brap's case, hey, can I check your shit out? We do something? Can we work? And you say yes, you're saying yes because opportunity has presented itself to you. And you're like, I can make something work off of this attention from this person. But then the person that wants to get something from you, like say other people start coming because that person's coming to you and you're knocking their shit out and you're getting money from them, but you haven't taken care of A1 from day one.
Yep.
That does not make sense to me. And it kind of pisses me off that people do that. Like when people were saying, why don't you go work with so-and-so Rotary guy? I'm like, why?
That shit don't work that way, man. Like it don't all of what you're saying, man, is true. It's like case in point, I just roll like in my back of my garage your stuff. I just put it on everybody subscribe, click the subscribe, subscribe, and everybody who wants to subscribe to their shit just like rolls up. So your stuff pops on there, LZ stuff pops on there. So I met I don't know the dude, but I was watching a dude, I forgot his name already, man, but he comes to LZ joint to tune his cars or whatever, and he got a channel too on a bunch of cars and Black Cat.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
the new he started working with.
Yeah, Lee something, Lee,
yeah, with the bees.
Yeah. So I go on this thing, I click this thing, I'm like, this dude, I've never heard of him, but I'm like, damn, man, this motherfucker, like he. You know what I mean?
See?
Right. So you got yeah. So you just go back, click on this thing, and his archive is big. But what people don't realize, somebody in the comments said, "Oh man, I hope this brings him more." And it did jump up from the last video. The guy was like, it jumped up like 1,000 subs. But people think they think that because LZ has 1 million, and then like you get him on or do something, it's gonna automatically bring you up. Like it don't work that way because they're not invested in they're invested in LZ, whoever else they subscribe to. It doesn't work that way, dude.
Yes, perfect thing that you say that, and we'll get Mike on and we'll talk to him about that.
Yeah.
But this is a perfect case scenario. Me and Mike, right? I've been on Mike's channel quite a bit. Mike wants to. He does try to send people over here to my channel. But what they have to understand is I'm not a subsequent Mike channel. I'm not an additional Mike channel.
Right.
Now, they like my attitude. I always joke and whatever. I be me on his channel. And they're like, this motherfucker's funny. And then they come over to my channel and be like, he's more technical over here. He's more in depth. It's not the hijinks, slap knee jokes that Mike's channel, because that's how Mike's channel is. And mine over here, I really be trying to do something a little different. But those people don't come over to subscribe to that. They'll come check out a video, maybe give it a like, but they go back over to Mike's channel.
Right.
Because what people need to understand, and you see it with the biggest channels out there in the game, you'll have so like Brap, since we're speaking on him, Brap and his little brother. Brap's little brother, Fatty, technically rides better than Brap.
Younger.
Brap, younger little fat boy, right? Yep. Brap has almost 1 million subscribers. Fatty, which everybody enjoys on Brap's channel, as a personality. Fatty has his own channel with a lot of help from his brother, but still would be sub 20 grand.
Right.
But Brap is 1 million.
And Randy as well, because Randy got a channel too.
Subbed again. People love them as a personality on Brap's content. Now, what I have seen bigger channels do, which is what I love to see, is when the big person says, okay, I know how this is going to work. People love us together. Here, though, what you're going to be is part of my payroll. You're going to get paid this amount per video. Whatever makes sense, right? Every video that I have you in, you're on it. But you gotta. It'll kind of get weird if a guy feels like he's the reason why a channel does something. You know, you kind of get in those weird ego things. Right. Like if you look at TJ Hunt with his homeboy Calvin, or all the other dudes that are on this channel, they're fine being the homies with TJ, and TJ takes care of them. They got a car, they want it built, they get it built from his plugs, his parts, and whatever they do on the backhand shake for whatever monies they deal with, that's what they deal with. But they don't necessarily have to have a channel. So I like when that happens, because you can tell when that happens, when guys are, you know what, I'm good on your brand, and I'll keep giving you that goodness, and we make this content, and then you get taken care of. When they get taken care of, everybody's still ha 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 ha. But you could tell when there's certain channels where people feel like they've made the channel pop.
Right.
It's a staunch punch in the face when you go to make your own channel and your shit don't pop. Because what you have to realize is, no, that person's the catalyst. They like you with them. They may still like you independently, but you with them is what's their interest. When you go do your own thing, you may not pop. You may not be that entertaining to them. Right. Or they just want to go back over to where they knew you from. And when you pop up on the channel, applause.
Right. One guy that does it, and we already talked about it, man, is and actually is another thing I'm gonna kind of get into a little bit because I don't want to go over too much over, but the Schultz, because Schultz got the Brilliant Idiots and he got Flagrant 2, and and they that's one of the couple things where Schultz is kind of the catalyst in both.
He is,
and you know, even though Charlamagne got his thing or whatever, and then the Akash dude's just like a cool sidekick, and but like the Michael Irvin joint was fucking hilarious. It was hilarious. He's like, I'm.
What?
Dude, he's like, I'm lying. He's like, I'm bullshit, but I ain't lying. But yeah, that shit was crazy. But you see that, right? And then one thing, it's funny. It's funny as fuck that Schultz brought it up. I just watched it. I never heard of this dude named Mr. Beast until a couple of days ago, right? And he has, apparently he's because I thought PewDiePie was the guy. He's the guy.
Nope. Mr. Beast
is the guy. 82, and then when you get to a certain level, people, when they see your numbers up there, they just going to subscribe just because you already got 72 million, 75 million. It's just going to keep. They want to see what the fuck this is about. I subscribe to him, so I'm one of those people. And I'm like, dude, I looked at the video like, who? This motherfucker remade the whole goddamn Squid Games, man.
Yeah.
And then his comments are like,
a production,
Yeah, and when the thing is, when you the comments, it's when you see the comments, people like, there's a few guys there. I don't read comments, like bullshit. You read them, you just want to seem cool, like you don't read them. But when you get to his level, he ain't reading them because there's just so many. And then
1 second, you've got 10,000.
Yeah. And then the fucking and then because the trend is so much, because the dude, like I watched a couple, I'm like, dude seems positive. I clicked on it. He's doing giveaways, and his thing, I like it. I went to it was simple, and it says, do not email me for money. So I'm guessing when you put some lights, people's emailing him because they see he's a generous guy, but that generosity, he can do that how he want to do it. He don't have to give you shit. So they
look at Duval. Look at Lil Duval on Instagram. Lil Duval to people, but he say, if you niggas DM me,
we talked about that.
You ever ask me for no bread? In my heart and my spirit to do it, I'm gonna do it. But don't you ever come ask me for nothing. And that's the. But let's touch back on Schultz. Okay, so Schultz was Charlamagne's sidekick, and I always remember this because I'm vindictive like that, and I'm that maniacal. One thing Charlamagne said, and I like Charlamagne, right? One thing Charlamagne said to Schultz one day, they were just having their interaction, their arguments, because you have those kind of conversations,
right?
The homies sometimes when y'all get in a disagreement, like what's really popping, like what's good with you. Charlamagne and Schultz got in an argument on Brilliant Idiots. This was years ago. Charlamagne said something to Schultz that I was like, God damn, blood. You don't say that kind of shit to your homies. I forgot what started it, but Charlamagne said, nigga, as long as I have more money than you, basically like I'm always gonna have more money than you. Like I'm popping the most, whatever. It very loosely translated, but this is what he said. He said, I'm good as long as I got more money than you, I'm a Mike, or I lead this, or I'm the lead, basically, right? And Schultz did something that is in his personality that makes everybody rock with him. Schultz was like, that's fine. I'm cool with that. And I always got your back. But I'm just asking why you this, why you that. And it was like, damn, that's the way, you know what I'm saying? You took that blow like a champ. Like this nigga just stunted on you and you say, that's cool, bro. And I always got your back regardless, even if I get richer than you. I'm not the type that's going to hold money over your head, but I got your back. I just want you to be the best you. Because I really forgot what they were arguing about. I would have to scroll back. I think it was 2016, I think. And then it was funny because 2017 popped up and the allegations popped up and Charlamagne had to go sit back, right? He had to disappear for a minute from the podcast or whatever, because he's like, the less I speak, the less people I'm gonna be in the mix. And
the whole chick thing, yeah.
Can work on the backside and then I can bounce back. And Schultz held it down. Always like, yo, send Charlotte the love, you know what I'm saying, support him, whatever. And because everybody said this guy's great, I can listen to him talk. He might be wrong as shit, but I can listen to him. He's very entertaining, and he stands in his ignorance, right? then at the same time, he was kind of worried about Brilliant Idiots because this is where Flagrant 2 kind of started. He was worried about if Brilliant Idiots was going to bounce back or if it was going to do whatever, if Charlemagne was even going to come back. He started Flagrant 2 with his homeboys. Now he's A Mike, right? But people have been so used to him on Brilliant Idiots 2014, 2015 when they started being B Mike, but being a good complimentary. Once he got A Mike and he's running rampant because the reason they started Flagrant because Charlemagne started getting pussy about the wild takes that they would, they start talking about all the wild shit,
right? Because Charlemagne started going not going, but he became more corporate
and had to watch what he said because of the allegations. Schultz is like, yo, fuck that. This is man talk. We talk stupid. We say the bitch got the big titties. What's the joke he say? She got the heavies.
Right.
So they joking, they got the heavies, right? And that's hilarious when you talk about boobs being the heavies, but Charlemagne don't want to do that. So then this is where the Flagrant brand took off. And they took off big time. And they're like, look, man, we're assholes. We speak our mind. Y'all want to shut us down? That's cool. You could do that. But for the people that really want to rock with us, you come join us over on the Patreon, grow with us. We can keep doing our thing, boo boo. Schultz started to climb up, super likable, being that guy, talking that shit, standing on what he wants to. Netflix turned him down. Everybody turned him down. He started making his own content. He bust the way through, found a way when everybody was saying no. Then he went from the dude that just randomly had a position on Guy Code to now he's that guy, right? So now he getting the money, and she still may not have as much money as Charlemagne, but Charlemagne got to see the respect, like, damn, he can go on his own, do his own thing. We're still homies. Everybody's still good.
But there's a different respect. There's the way he kind of talked to him and everything.
Yeah. And so he sees him on his own route, going on Rogan multiple times.
Bringing Charlemagne on Rogan.
But he looked out,
right?
This my man's Rogan. You need to talk to my man's. Yo, come on with me. He could have been like on a dick nigga. Remember when you talked to me grimy about having more bread than me? Fuck you. But because he showed he has the character of a solid, genuine individual, he brought Charlemagne to Rogan. Charlemagne been in the limelight for ages with Wendy Williams, Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? And so then what does Andrew do as well? With Charlemagne being out, he went to go kick it with Lil Duval. Lil Duval was the comedian that kind of put all of them on, because Duval's been on for ages. Comic View, all the videos back in the day with all the pop and rappers. Duval's been in that mix, but Duval don't like limelight, so he chilled back. Schultz was like, I'm going to you. He's hanging out in the Bahamas. I'm coming to the Bahamas. Let's chill. Let's do a specific podcast just on you, your philosophies, your ideologies. Because when Duval has his podcast, he get too caught up in, like, I'm chilling. I let my sister run, or whoever else is on. Now, a comedian knows how to interview a comedian, and you get to the bottom of it. Schultz interviews Duval. You get all of his philosophy and lifestyle ideas that Duval has, and it's like, damn, boy, he has a method to his madness, a rhyme to his reason. That was an insane podcast that popped off, that got up there. So as you've seen Andrew Schultz make the run, it's like, damn, son's creating his own lane. He's doing his own thing. And then he puts on his man's, that was his film dude. He put on enough that he was like, you know what, quit your perfect job, not your perfect, but your sustainable job that you're making a lot of money in. Be just my film guy. He did that for a couple years. Now what's Alex got? The studio where all these other...
Would you see what just happened recently, right? With the Tony Hawk interview. Alex is like I don't know. I think they're doing an inside joke because I don't think he's suspended. They said he gave him some leave or whatever because the audio was so bad. I guess the audio has some audio issues and whatever. So, but I wouldn't put it past him because Andrew's a business dude, and then also when he was bringing up he brought up the Mr. Beast guy, right? Mm-hmm. What he was saying was he didn't really know too much about him, and he didn't look him up and everything because they're doing their thing. But he was like, you could see his mind, like they're giving the dude respect. He's like, man, how the fuck does this motherfucker have 82 million subscribers? And then you could see it. He was speaking, giving him love, but at the same time, he's like, how the fuck do I get there? And that's right. and that right there, man. Once you lose that and you feel comfortable, that's when you kind of just stop. You stop growing. You stop doing that. And then if you would have did that, he never would have got up to, when Charlemagne said what he said, and he's like, all right, okay, cool. I'm gonna address it and or let it slide out my shoulder like you said before, and then go do work. So shit like that motivates people, man. And it's like, it's weird, but like they made a big case. He has 82 million, right? But outside of YouTube, nobody knows him. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's not saying, and I hate to say that people fucking know him, but it's like if you go to say again.
He's essentially he's hard to spot,
right?
Because dude, right?
Right.
And people might be tuned in and be like, "That's a familiar face."
The kid, he said the kids call him out. They go to wall, yeah.
They know who. Like, there's people that my son will be like, "That's so and so."
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And
before motherfuckers be like, no, it's not about that or whatever. Like, because the way it works, man, is you're known in your fucking circle. For the guys who don't get it, you're known in your circle, so never assume that people like I kind of like, I was like, well, dudes will know me. I'm the black dude in Japan with a performance shop. Nah, they don't know who the fuck I am because our paths, for whatever reason, they cross, or it's just they got somebody else that do whatever. Like they got their dude in Japan, so you're not looking for somebody else. Which I'm not anybody's dude in Japan. I'm not your plug. That's not what I do. And you know what I mean. So people kind of assume that I know I'm pretty sure. Not saying LZ is a cocky guy or whatever, but I'm pretty sure with his subscriber level, he probably when he goes to meet, he kind of assumes that 98% of the people there know of him or knows who he is, and that's probably true.
LZ's so down to earth for the most part.
Right.
He's like, I'm gonna go there, and people may respond like this.
Right.
And if they don't, I'm gonna have a blast doing what I aim to do without being interrupted.
Right.
But he understands that I'm either going to service my following, or I'm about to have the time of my life in the short time frame that I'm allowed to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. People just gotta use this shit wisely, man, and they gotta understand, man, that Charles Buddha, and he wasn't taking a jab at the Mr. Beast guy when he was saying he was trying to go towards he said it was hard to do like not corporate or like NBC, ABC, and he said nobody's really covering it. They said they covered this shit it came out with some news feeds because it was just so many views so quickly for the Squid Game thing, and the Squid Game thing on Netflix is still trending and everything. So what he's doing, case in point, dudes watching and listening, when you want to do social media, if you really, really want to do that shit and you want to make this your 9 to 5, you got to ride waves. It's called wave riding. So what he did is he rode a wave, and that motherfucker, he's definitely going to get something out of that.
Yeah, he executed it
perfectly.
So that people, it's not just, this nigga did a Squid Games parody. It's like, this nigga did an amazing job. 45 million views or something like that. When I seen it, when I watched about 5 minutes of it, and I was like, cool, you know what I mean? I get the production, the sets, he got his own sound stage. It's like when proves,
yeah,
that proves is Hollywood can happen anywhere.
Yeah,
in bump of Ohio. In the middle of the night, it can happen anywhere, right? And I think that's something that Will Smith just had wow, we could do this at any time.
What's the dude, man? The dude, he makes all of the fucking the chick. He's a gospel dude, and then he turned into a movie guy and a Tyler Perry guy.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry, that's the guy. So he did. So he got this thing down in Atlanta where Hollywood comes to him and asks him to use their set for the White House and all this other shit. And I mean, he's a black dude and blah blah blah. And he had the little thing where Will Smith and everybody else was there, and like Charlemagne was there, and they all talked about it. And yeah.
Oh, up to show everybody.
Right. And it was like a who's who.
Like, and it's funny because when you hear in your head what Tyler Perry Studios looks like, you don't anticipate when you hear studios, I don't know, whatever your head thinks.
Hey, Lex, real quick, man. Hey, hold that real quick. I gotta pick up this package and we'll come back and wrap it up, man. 1 second. So,
Oh hell yeah, man! It is holiday season. Well, you got to worry about that at your business. People running up taking your shit. But,
yeah.
yeah.
No. They don't. That's what I'm saying. That shit they would have left. I had to wait like until it's some shit. You go to pick some shit up and they got the shit on the road, so you can't get it. You gotta wait for the driver to come back and.
Hate that, yo. Car parks, bike parks, building.
So yeah.
All the stuff.
But yeah, we're saying that, man, like the all that stuff is just the like I say, you see the evolution, man, and it's not about man, like it's not about like so many people, man. Like I said before, that's why I was like, these motherfuckers got like 20K, 30K subscribers and acting like they're like Michael Jordan and shit in this bitch, man. It's like it ain't about the number. It is the numbers is cool and people are gonna flock to it. You ain't gotta do no fucking. And like I say, we're gonna have Mike on. And I just like to see like kind of his philosophy and stuff behind it. Is he doing? Because I mean, I don't watch his channel hardcore, so I don't know if he's doing giveaways, raffles, and people are using the gimmicks to try to get motherfuckers in. Like this dude, just let them come. They're gonna subscribe. They want to subscribe. Of course, the Mr. Beast dude, like I said, I think his shit is up high. I mean, the dude just seems like a on camera nice guy or whatever, easygoing. People like saying he's one of the best people to have that position. And that's kind of like, when the people say shit like that, it's like, okay, so you're co-signing that I'm good enough to have what I got. If you don't agree with what I do, then I'm not good enough to have the money I have and all that shit. So I don't really agree with that too much.
There's a flip side to that too, because there have been people that have been the ones in that position, PewDiePie's, Logan Paul's, Jake Paul's, whatever, right? That get that boost. They don't even David Dobrik's, all those types of dudes. They don't have to make the long videos to get the monetization. They can make however long they want because they have that high AdSense deal from YouTube. Right. It's like just make content. Whatever you want to make, just keep making it. And then something happens where they're a fuckboy that get exposed for something really weird.
Yeah.
Think of PewDiePie calling people nigga or whatever.
Yeah, because pretty much that was his like downward.
Yeah, they claimed this thing. Yeah. Logan Paul finding it funny to see somebody that took their life.
Yeah. He rebounded from that good though. He rebounded. Logan rebounded.
Focus on that rebound.
Yeah.
But you have to have skin thick enough and be like, okay, they're throwing arrows at my armor. Yeah. Okay. Keep throwing it. I want to prove to you I'm better than what I showed you, and I'm gonna work towards that. But you can't hide. I got to keep making this content. He hid for a second, but he came back. You know what? I'm gonna keep making this content.
Start a podcast,
yeah. You got all of these people that do that. They don't get to their redemption. You got to get to your redemption. Yeah. And the thing is, you got to show something different, right? Like, yeah, I was in it. I was enthralled in it, being this person. Yeah, I fucked up, y'all. I really did fuck up. But I'm back. I'm committed to being better. I'm going to be better. And I don't want you to just take my word for it. I'm going to show you. So let me show you through this next couple of months. Just stay on the channel, and I'm going to show you. And then if they decide to stay, they get to see it. You know what I'm saying? If they don't, okay. But I earned that fuck up. So that's fine. I understand it. But I'm going to keep working, and I'm going to make enough content that you're going to see me again on a recommended or something, suggested channel. And then if you take that option to look at me, you're going to see that I changed. So Logan stayed committed to that, and that was pretty cool. I think even PewDiePie made a resurgence.
Well, whatever, I just seen him on the he's in a ad that comes across all the things about the Opera browser.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm glad they reached out to me.
No, I mean,
wife doesn't close it. Man, get that shit.
Yeah.
Like, so it's funny you're saying, oh man, he's the best person that's been in his position. So far, he's the cleanest, right?
Right, and that's what Schultz brought it up to. Like everything again, man. That people like say he's the guy and all that stuff. He is because it's the YouTube puts the shit out there, right? And like, you know, I'll say case in point, this YouTube is not my grind. YouTube is just a facet for me to share some shit I want to share with people, because this is only a fraction of stuff I do. Like, if I put my day-to-day out there, I had a lot more people, man, because I do some cool shit. I just don't feel a need to, just like you. Like you said in your video perfectly, I do shit way too fast because I ain't got time to be like, hey, I'm doing this, and put you taking care of shit, and you be like, I did that shit 3 weeks ago that you're watching today. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of rolling out because I got time to edit it, and you said it perfectly. That's why we're not, you know, people call me, this guy called me, I'm not a vlogger, man, because I don't want to show disrespect to the guys who actually vlog. Hey, I'm going to zip up my pants and I'm going to put on my jacket. Those type of guys, play by play. That's not me, man. That's not me. And you find, I kind of get into that. I realize during the video that I'll be doing that shit. I'm like, man, and now I'll mid video like, nah, so let's get to this shit, man, and do whatever I'm showing you, and like get out of there, man. Like, it's just not, it's the lane, because you see the motherfuckers being successful and you feel like you gotta do that. You know what I mean? So I think ours are, me and your channel, I think, is a good representation of and making the viewers inclusive, but you're not seeing every step. You're not seeing every fucking step, and you don't get it, man.
Like that last video of the track day, I was sitting and I'm like, dude, it's going to be boring for me to make every single session fit into this video. I don't want to do that. How am I going to do this? I'm going to mash them all together. You're not going to know what session is what, but it's only going to be a 4-minute thing. It's only going to be a 4-minute thing.
That just popped up. Best trade. He trades his dirt bike for a supercar. No, you did.
Who?
Brett. Just came up. It was a Gallardo next to.
We know that bait, because who the fuck is changing $100,000 car for a $12,000 dirt bike, right?
You need about 180 more of those.
You know what I mean?
That's not even in the ballpark still.
It's funny because Mike watches my videos and he'll say, Blood, you need more viewers. He's like, there's no way that your subscribers should be like this, because your content is well thought out and hella creative and put together well.
Hey,
like, it might
weird, man. It's weird.
But we have our own little niche. Like, my thing is, I'll say something that triggers my thought to go to an old movie phrase or something, and I add it in, and then I try to make it entertaining in a way. And Mike's like, yo, I sit up, and he sends me all the time the motorcycle vlogs. He's watching them. He's like, that shit keeps me entertained the whole time. He's like, I love watching your motorcycle shit because, for one, he got to experience motorcycling for a little bit.
Right.
So he knows that shit is kind of dangerous, bro.
Yeah.
And you're making it look entertaining, and I'm like,
yeah.
And like, damn, this nigga crazy. But then it ends well, and he be like, but you know, so he says like, man, and then other things he want, like how we are here, and I joke and whatever. And I'm like that on his vlogs too, but he's like, you're not like that on your channel. He was like, you know, why don't you do that kind of shit on your channel? And I just kind of be like, I don't know.
Oh, because
when I camera on myself, I don't know. But I kind of got a little bit of a breakthrough with that when Jalen films me. When Jalen takes the camera, it's just something weird about me holding it and talking.
Yeah, that's true. It's 100% true, man. Which I'm actually talking to a guy right now because he showed interest. He's a respectable guy. He didn't help me. He is actually a customer now. And he was like, hey man, anytime we need B-roll, and I was like, nah, I'm good, because when people, like you said before, when motherfuckers try to offer me something, it's always because they're gonna, hey man, can you give me a price on the engine build? Now that they done something for me, and 2 guys did that to me recently, and I told them to fuck off. But they gave me a raggedy ass FRP bumper and thought that was just like the key to my heart. I'm like, no, man, actually, you gave me that shit 6 months ago. I'll give you the fucking money today, because I had the money in my pocket. And you're like, all right, man, all good. I'm not going to do that dance. Like, oh, man, but go ahead and take it. All right, you don't want nothing for it? I'm going to take it. and then 6 months later you try to get me to do something that's as well, more expensive than what you're trying to get it for. I'm like, fuck that. So I don't like that shit. But anyway, he's like talking about doing it. I was like, hey, I might actually have him do it because I want to document some builds, and I don't want to be like this and like had a tripod. And he's willing to this. Like, I'm like, I don't need you to touch no tools and nothing.
Right.
I just need you if you're willing to hang around for 2 hours and film and
cooler. It's something cooler about you doing something.
Yeah.
And then you don't even purposely look up because the camera's there. You can just look up and the camera's there, and then you're like, oh, hey, what I'm doing right now is this. And you just get back to wrenching.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of you saying, oh, let me get the camera. Hey, guys.
Yeah. That shit's, yeah.
Everybody does so right now.
Yeah.
Or, hey, what we're doing. It's always that phrase.
I edit that shit out, man.
Yeah, you have to.
I edited it. Yeah.
I edit so's. If I say so's or now or anything, get that shit out of here because that wasn't natural. When Jalen's holding the camera and he's filming for me, it's like it's just a supernatural conversation because now I'm talking like this instead of
right. And
talking like
and on Mike shit, man. When you're on this channel, what they don't realize is like you're just existing, being you, and you ain't got to edit that shit. You ain't got to think about the framing. You ain't got to think about like when you got your own shit. You're like, all right, I got the car in the background. The sun's going down. The shit with we open it up with the, you didn't plan for that. That just kind of became a cool ass thumbnail on a bike and the green thing, and that just kind of worked out that way. But it's like when you're not, because I've been around some other YouTubers and their shit, and they just be recording. I'm not sure what happened or if it came up, but it's like I'm like, all right, cool. I ain't gotta edit this shit. I ain't gotta package it. You know what I mean? It's
funny, like Mike, we have foul mouths.
Yeah.
So I'll purposely cuss wildly. So he gotta bleep it out and edit, and it's like it's a running joke whenever I show up.
The first 10 minutes?
Yeah, I cuss like crazy on this channel, so you gotta bleep it out. And it'd be like that's a funny thing back and forth with he and I.
Yeah.
But then there's other times where I'm trying to stay out of frame.
Right.
And why you hide from the camera, fool? Then it'd be like, my bad, nigga, I ain't trying to be in your video. And then people get a whole honest response, and people be like, yeah, that was funny as hell. Because every time I see Mike turn, I know that wide angle. Oh, let me get out of here.
Yeah.
So I'll be out and about.
And what you see now, man, is weird. It's like, man, we talking about it, and I talk about it because I try to remind myself. It's like now when you like the dude, the Lee guy, he was on LZ's joint, right? Like it was you got to see, you get the 2 videos drop simultaneously, then you got to see their cut, and then it was doing a valve cover thing or some shit like that. And then like his channel on Lee's channel was more, it was the camera was running more, so then they had this other guys, and he even brought it. He called this guy out, like he's you're gonna say it on LZ channel it was this, but on my channel you give the real deal what happened to the gasket. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but it happens like that because you'll see now. I'm pretty sure there's been a time where there's probably been like 4 different videos of the same event, but you see all the cameras though. You see LZ's crew, but then you see another dude going like this and like recording and shit. When Brat was doing the wheelie with the dude down in Florida, and the other guy was talking about he could wheelie and shit, and he had his camera rolling like the whole just holding it the whole fucking time, looking like a statue, just recording everything and shit. And I don't know what his channel is, but he got a channel.
Yeah, you want to go find that extra content,
right?
Because you're like, well, let's see what really went on. Like, there's a trio of dudes that do this. Like, he's back in America and he's doing it right now. You've got Samit. You've got
he's getting dragged right now.
Yeah, he is, but that's his fault.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you got Ricer Miata. Now, all 3 of those dudes always film together, right? When they're around, they film together a lot. Tommy's is specifically this subject, this focal point, this way. Ricer Miata's shit is filmed super loose and sloppy, but you get a more entertaining part of Tommy, and in a different part of Samet. Then when Samet films, so when you look at all three of those contents, which is why I personally like when there are a group of dudes that film together. I like when there's a group of dudes that film together because you might see one dude trying to keep some information out of his vlog, but the other dude is his own entity and he can't tell the other dude to keep that content out of his vlog.
Right.
You might get different things from one and you can kind of piece the whole thing together. I like that because if you do take the time to go do that, jump on everybody's vlog, you'll get a whole encompassing story of one subject.
Right.
And I like that a little bit better than being super directed.
Right, because what you're saying, like too, you also get to see when people are off and on or off, and then like the like I say, man, it's like you said, like when the bring up the LZ and Lee thing, when they were doing the video, then like when LZ would walk around the background of Lee's camera guy, he just be him, he'd be like himself, like he's not.
Yeah, cussing and
he's just like he's not on, like he's not in that mode where, hey guys, we're gonna be doing this and blah. Because that's one of those things where he's got good at it, and then you could tell that voice, but he's like it's a fine aged voice and stuff like that, and he's gotten better at not saying that, like the.
And that you say that because
right.
Like when El chilling with us,
right,
and he's chilling, super comfortable, super natural.
He's like, yeah,
and then he's like, take me for a ride in your RX-7. I'm like, all right. And then before he hopped in, he said, do you mind if I film things?
Right.
Like, okay, cool, no problem. But we're just talking, and so we're sitting in the car, and he's talking regular, and
boom.
Heel, what? And when he spoke again, he spoke in the vlog, inflection, and everything, and I looked like, and the camera was out. I said, damn, I heard vlog out of him, not what he's regularly been talking like for the last 2.5 hours. Tight.
Yeah.
It was just, damn, he turned it on like that.
But you got, but at the same time, we're not dogging him on that, dudes, guys out there listening. But it's I call a dude out that I don't really talk to no more. I guess he's made that permanent, and I'm like, bro, you gotta fucking speak the fuck up, man. Like you speak like you just woke up, and you're like you one of those. You're not a morning person. Like, yeah, man. So we gonna put this.
Yeah. I can't hear this nigga, man.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But we're more commending LZ for maintaining his consistency on his camera. He could be in whatever exciting environment, but when he turns on the camera, he could still be excited, but that excited is the consistency that he gives the camera.
Right.
Which was like, yo, that's tight. That's professional vlogger shit. Like I think that's why Mike be laughing at me saying, yo, be yourself, because I do that but way too toned down. Like what Adam gives to what Adam really is in real life is the same thing. It's just his inflections and tones are a little different in how he's speaking to relay that shit to the camera. What I give for my vlogs kind of is two different planes of things. I want to be clear and concise on my channel when I'm speaking, compared to when I be at the, I might say blah, 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 blah,
yeah.
Nobody, we're standing here, we're having this conversation, so I know what he's talking about. But on the vlog, I be trying to be very direct and concise and make sure that you hear everything that I'm saying in a way that whoever's language barrier it is can get it clearly and directly, and subtitles get everything that I'm saying specifically. And so I speak like that on the vlog instead of just speaking regularly how I do all the time, rolling my R's, the yada means and all that shit, and that's what Mike be like, you need to give people that. Like, you need to give people that. Like, he's like, that's what I am entertained with, even before we were on camera, years ago, back in 2010, when Mike first started hanging with me. it was just, that was the entertaining thing. We were always on jokes, and I don't know the way. I do know now, but I wasn't aware of the way to make that happen like that. I always had to, shake it off. All right. Oh, no.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, dude, that shit. Yeah, you'd be like, I know you be doing that same shit, or like, you know, like you'll do it, right? And then like you ever do that shit and you catch somebody in the background looking at you like, the fuck's this motherfucker doing? And then you look at that.
I used to be at really exclusive events in Sonoma, camera, and people are looking, and I'd be like, you see me looking off lens, like, waiting for them looking at me or something, but then talking hella low. Yeah. Now I just like, yo, you know,
it's so rare in Japan, right? That when I'll have my camera up, and like, because you know, in Japan, like they the vlogging thing is every fucking channel is the goddamn same. Like they got the same little dumb sound effects. And the Japan, if you ever been to Japan TV to see Japan TV, look at some memes and it'll be like a regular news show, and then Japanese news. It got the picture in picture. The sub, it's like every broadcast is like the goddamn same, bro. They do the same, whatever the formula is, keep doing that shit, and they just repeat it. So the YouTube channels look just like TV, but worse, because they don't know nothing about framing. They got the fucking words are like over the face and shit, and it's just bad, and the same sound effects and a little. I'm like, bro, you don't gotta do all that. So anyway, all those channels are the same. So when they see a TV stand or a camera, when they see a tripod out, they just assume that, that's a fucking news. So I had my shit out. We're doing a mic, and then I got a crowd of motherfuckers just like watching, and I don't even look at them, because it's like, man, I want to get this shot, get the fuck out of here, and do whatever. Yeah. But then they just think you're like a goddamn Fox 5 or some shit. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm just a guy with a YouTube account.
I think that's where I found my comfort.
Yo.
Let me see. The first person, it ended up. You got me?
Yeah, I got you now.
You got me back?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. I think that's where I found my comfort in first person shooting, because first person shooting allowed the camera to be close to me and for you to hear my voice at whatever volume I was speaking at. And it was less awkward because I was showing something. So I used to walk around with a GoPro on my forehead.
Right.
Then I walked around with the GoPro on my chest. Then I was like, you know what? I got more comfortable with, pointing it at things and just speaking and pointing. And that helped me to speak lower in a crowd, but you could still hear me very well because the mic was right in front of me. But it just got to the point where, fuck this, I create content and I'm speaking. Deal with it, right?
Yeah. Because the mic shit is, unless they get us some Bluetooth shit, which I gotta check, because they're setting up the mics. I got the mic thing now, and it just like, you gotta plug this in, and it's all automatic, but it's like, if that shit is plugged, I lost the video because it was plugged halfway in. So fuck the whole.
I can't tell you how many in cars. If you ever see a video, car or bike, and you don't hear me talking, but you see the camera roll in first person, but you hear car audio, that's what happened.
Yeah, it's halfway plugged in.
And the mic just malfunctioned.
Yeah, it's like brrrr.
And do so. Only way I can salvage the video is just give you this and give you car audio. Yeah, because it got fucked up.
And I felt bad as fuck at Alan's place, man. We did the whole week. We did it, the AMP, and we did a podcast in his shop, like an hour. We spoke for an hour and like 30 minutes, man. I went 30 minutes of this guy's life, man, and like just fucking no audio. I was like, motherfucker, man.
I started doing when I was able to, in backup plan for that. Like what's right under this Apple device is a phone and a mic right in front of me.
Okay.
If in case this one messed up as we were speaking, if like I'm not using this right now, but if I was doing like say this is a segment in the vlog and I was using camera right there and I was speaking, and this is going to be like, let's say I do a track day and I'm going to do picture in picture to the bottom corner right here of the track day, and I'm going to sit here. This is going to be your whole background, the entire video, and I'm speaking. I'm going to use 2 different mics, just in case if that one fails, you're still getting the audio.
Yeah, speaking of that shit, man, we guys will know this almost didn't happen today because I had a hard drive partial failure, which actually was just the shit was fucking too damn full, and I went to go restart it, and it had this thing. I just had to go into the BIOS and change some settings, and actually it wasn't my main hard drive, it was my my backup. The main hard drive definitely needs to be changed out because that thing is, as you see, it got 19 gigs left on it. And so it's one of those things where back in the day, me and Lex old enough to know like floppy drives, those shits go blank. You had to back up the backup. Now, like, honestly, I can crash any of this shit, and I got, for my business stuff, is all in the cloud, a secure cloud. I can pull up invoices as long as I got internet connection. I can pull up invoices. I can pull up. I'm on the road and the customer saying I didn't do something. Nah, dude, James Tony, right here, did it. Have a nice day. Fuck off. And so I've done that shit before. I had to send pictures to dudes, send the links to dudes, and so I got the cloud makes that shit like back up, and now we get used to devices lasting a little bit longer. But now, again, I fired a ship this morning, and all podcasts and shit sessions to me are important when I'm using somebody else's time. But if you got a significant person on there that gave you time and they're busy as fuck, and your shit can't go. That's why I gotta get a backup hard drive, backup computer, and backup recorder, which that thing has been my champ for 3-4 years now. I can't. That shit might fall out tomorrow, man. Hopefully it don't, because we got Mike coming on. But yeah, man. All in all, man, we're rambling now, man. So I definitely I don't want to take up too much time. I gotta get to it. It's Monday here in Japan and everything, and the guy, like, again, guys there who watching and listening, man. Like we just talk. We just talk, man. We don't be like, one thing, I fuck with Schultz and all those guys, but I kind of start clicking off some podcasts because they're condemning Hollywood, but then they're doing the same because they're around it. So they're recreating that same like vibe and like the same structure, and like people watch podcasts and shit because they want to see raw. They want to see raw and uncut. And when you start doing segments and you start doing this and you start doing all the ad reads, and granted it's money, and I'm being hypocritical, is if I get a decent ad read and I get paid off it, I'm going to do it. But
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of some podcasts that I signed up for, they're kind of like they're being too, why Flagrant 2 happened. It was too, the brilliant start getting too like, don't say that. Nah, dude. We're gonna run it. How we gonna run it? Then the Patreon came out, and then now they're getting people to pay for that to get the real raw, because they got another raw aspect that we ain't seeing out there. Because YouTube do got guidelines. You can't be like, I'm gonna go and get a bunch of babies and do whatever to them. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit. Will Ferrell was like, he's like, put your penis in that infant. I was like, dude, that's crazy, man. On that movie, he's like, I was just playing. You never seen that Kenny Power shit?
No,
bro. Check it out, man.
Audio all the time.
Yeah.
God, I forgot what podcast does, but they keep playing the audio of Cuba Gooding Jr. yelling, "Somebody suck that baby's dick," and it's like, out of context, like, oh shit! But Cuba Gooding Jr. was wilding in the club, drunk, and somebody called somebody. He's like, "Well, somebody sucked that baby's dick then," or something crazy, and always plays that shit when shit, and they play it because shit's getting out of hand, and they're playing that content on some wild shit. And it's like, damn, and that's, those types of clips or sound bites. Oh my God. You'd be like, that fool just say? They'd be like, yeah, he just said that wild shit.
Yeah, that sounds like your mom. The one I watch, but it kind of like we talked about before, that whole like Rogan like circle. they all kind of branched off and he moved away and blah blah blah. But one I watched a bunch is a dude, Your Mom's House, the Tom Segura joint, and their shit's pretty because they got like their own little. They got a group of podcasters that instead of doing they're all in the same group, but they all getting that same. It's a pretty, and everybody's doing that. They starting to do. Schultz is doing it with his joint, and they're starting to form these little teams that are like, instead of being separate, we can be fucking amazing together. And they got like a whole like their shit, and the dude Tom is like he's not a car guy, but he got a bunch of cars, and he's like, Porsches and whatever. He'll tell you straight up, not a car guy, but their shit is funny because it's off the cuff. The wife and husband are both comedians. And like they got like these clips, man, that they'll just roll in, man. Like they just say the wildest shit, man, and it's just wild. They lost sponsors and stuff about it, but they like, we got money, so whatever, and the sponsors came back.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
If you about to be raunchy, stand on it.
Yeah, you gotta, yeah.
Because people are gonna go away. They're gonna divert.
Yeah, because it's enough. The reason why this shit works so good, man, is there's so much fake and facade shit out there, man. Like your own government, not to get into that fucking thing, man. It's like, bro, it's like you can't fake it. You can't fake the funk no more with all these camera. Everything got a camera on that shit. Inside of my shop, I probably got about, I don't even know it. I probably got about 30 recording devices on random shit that I don't need. Old phones, webcams over there in the corner, security cameras. I probably got 30 cameras. That's probably an understatement and shit. And there's cameras everywhere, and people like you can't fake the funk like you did back in the day when NBC and ABC was your only source of what's what. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, now I think it's too much shit out there. It's too much fucking information, and everybody's saying what it is and what it ain't, and then what it is come out, and then all right, on to the next thing. The Rittenhouse guy, that was hot for like 2 weeks now, and nobody talking about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now,
now everybody's on Cuomo. Cuomo getting from CNN because he was using CNN resources to help his brother out. Shit, yeah, it's always something. It's something new. Omicron, which is I forget what the name of that is, but if you mix and match it, it spells moronic.
Oh yeah.
Case of the thing, which gets you tagged on YouTube and social media, which I say, what do I say? Divock. If you spell Divock backwards, obviously you know what that is. But yeah, if you mix and match moronic, you get the new strand. So
you got the conspiracy. I just call what I see, but you got the conspiracy theories, and I'm like, motherfuckers like that, like we said before, man. They obviously ain't got no cars or bikes to build, man, because you be out in the garage doing that.
My partner be sending me stuff and be like, I absolutely couldn't care less, bro. Yeah, I literally could give a shit.
It's not, and people like, oh, it's not being up to speed on things. Like those same motherfuckers will be saying, like, us being older guys, we ain't up to speed because we don't know what the next little rapper is doing, this and that, and blah blah blah. Those same motherfuckers who couldn't tell you who Eli Whitney is and what he did, or they can't tell you who Rosa Parks. And this is like recent history. This ain't fucking. Exactly. This ain't BC shit. This is you know what I'm saying?
Ancestry.com. And he was like, man, what you mixed with? And I was like, black and black. He's like, what? I said, well, technically Indian, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. All things come from Africa, right? He like, how Indians come from Africa? I said, blood, are you dumb? Right? Like, he really didn't understand.
Yeah.
It was in America, right? And they Indian, how they come from Africa? So you ever heard of Pangea?
Pangea, Bering Strait, none of that shit, man.
I said, so a nigga him and his homeboys started walking. They had a few broads with them. They walked this way. The planet may have, they get tired, they rest places. They get tired, rest places. As long as a man can hunt and find shelter, they good to go. Keep continuing, keep exploring. Well, over time, this shit started separating. Niggas got stuck over here and they just kept going west. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens. Niggas walked. I was like, That's how shit happened. People migrated everywhere. If the central of life is Africa, right? And everybody went different directions. Like, yeah, they Indian, but where they come from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, speaking of, that's probably the evolution that Brappton used, man. Because I know they toss around the N word kind of loosely there, and I know they, you know, I mean, but you know, he's Puerto Rican. I think Puerto Ricans were given a pass on that because so many in New York, and you know what I mean. But it's
right. The culture. Yep. Yeah. Where they're at in the area, it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that word is now its culture.
Right.
See, because sometimes in this area in Vallejo, well, let's just say California in general, white kids look like Mexican kids at a lot of point in time, right? So if everybody's in a group and they this that niggas is flying left and right, and you kind of zoning in and looking like, where did that come from? Wait a minute, right?
You know, I'm the only darky here.
Yeah. You could. Okay, Asians, we know from the same turf. I know they're hella ghetto, and it's what the investment in the culture is. Unfortunately, nowadays, because you know when it's directed to you in a derogatory fashion, and you know when it's just like, oh, son, think it's cool to say that because whatever, and then you might tell one of these cats, fool, you can't say that, and they might be hard as hell to tell you, yeah, the fuck I can, and what you about to do about it. You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta bust somebody's mouth to tell them, like, yeah, and or give them something that they respect and stand on and say, you know what? I understand this ain't what he want to hear around him. So cool. And it depends on what kind of relationship y'all got. But, you know, you just got to understand sometimes some people are bought into a culture so much, they feel it to the heart of them. You know, like we were talking about when cats say stuff in text on a phone and they put it in their pocket, and that goes out to people and they feel that was directed to them. This music, these artists that they love, that's who's technically giving them the pass accidentally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy if you're in traffic and a white dude, middle-aged white dude next to you is bumping the music that we all love. That's like, hey, right? And he's rapping every word, but then he knows the word is coming up and he gets uncomfortable because he may have noticed. Yeah. And he's like, I love this song. And I don't mean it in any way saying it. I'm just saying exactly what the artist is saying. But I can't say this, you know? And you kind of be like, when you look at it, you be like, you can either take it two ways. You goddamn right, you better not say that shit. Or you could say, damn, son, love this song. I've sat here at the light, watched him rap every lyric without a stumble. And he don't say that. And I know he's not saying it on purpose. And it's like, damn, he can partake in the culture, but he can't partake in the culture all the way. So that's kind of like, for me, it goes two ways. I've been lenient with certain people on it, and I haven't been lenient with certain people on it. But it kind of just depends on what type of vibe I'm on or what type of vibe I get from the person. And sometimes it'll be said and it catch me off guard, and I might.
Yeah. The thing about, like, if I me being here in Japan and being like a military, it's like the military, man. One thing I'm out of it, man. This some of the most phoniest, uncoordinated motherfuckers ever, dude. Like, they just got that it's like kind of like dudes who are like a hardcore Christians or whatever, and they just lived their life. I grew up around it, and I got of age, and I had a conversation about this at a barbershop, and she was asking me why I don't, like, because I got a choice.
Yep.
And I'm like, bro, I've seen so many phony motherfuckers, man. They be in church running around doing laps, and then after the thing, I happen to walk up on them out back smoking cigarettes and talking about why she took his bitch or something like that. I'm like, oh, that same person, same person, yeah. Like that. And I was like, man, I seen that shit. And I told my mom, and she was like, nah, they just troubled. And I'm like, nah, they ain't troubled. They fucking phony. Fuck that shit, man. And that's why when I turned 18, I was out. And then it's like you see people like that, man. They just spend so much damn time trying to convince people that they're other than or stuff like that. It's like, dude, do your thing. But at the same time, what I'm saying, getting the point I'm making is it's definitely, I don't even use it because it's just like, what I mean, I'm around a bunch of people and being military that ain't never been around black people before. And it shows when I talk to them, their face is like, I can't believe he's talking to me like this, or they thought it was supposed to be some kind of level where you're the higher ground. I'm like, number one, you're in my fucking business. I got the higher ground no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like you're at my shop. You came to me. You emailed me. You called me. So I didn't call. I don't know who the fuck you are, Jeff. You know what I'm saying? So it's so I'm most people's first like professional black experience. So I'm like, hey, it's gonna go down like this. It ain't gonna go down like that. You're gonna email me. You're gonna correspond properly in the subject title, meaning you're not gonna just put car in the subject title. You're not. And they're like, whoa, I thought this was gonna be fun time and unorganized and everything that I heard about black people. And I'm like, nah, son.
Yo, like it was funny because I've been in these lives with like Benadon and all of the OG Baltimore, New York, Philly.
I seen they just had the hood games on YC.
In there, and they get Fatty in there, Rap's younger brother.
Yeah.
Appearance is he's a fat young white kid. He's not. So when he over here is sending the N-word left and right, they OG black dudes older than me, and they like, hold on, young boy, like in the comments, where he get off saying nigga at, and they kind of understand that they understand that he's Puerto Rican, but they be like, chill with that word, and that's them taking responsibility for.
He kind of.
He's Puerto Rican. They know he's Puerto Rican and that he naturally speaks like this. They know this, but they're saying chill with that here, right? Not around me, because there are people that are watching this that don't know. And I don't want it to even get twisted that they could say that to elders, right?
Right.
They're taking the responsibility and doing that, which is a good path to take, because what that does is that lets him know, chill out, calm down, let's speak with a little bit of
learning them, teaching them.
Right, and he still speaks a little spicy about certain things, but he chills with that, which is like, that's out of respect.
I mean, because like you said, the dude's good. The dude's good on the bike. He had his fall scrapes like everybody else, but he's good. Like you say, like Brad be saying, he's like, nah, dude. Like you said, he's better than you on the bike now because you taught him, and he's younger, he's hungry, and you know what I mean. Like then is one thing that kind of is weird. I've kind of been on Brad a bunch, man, but it's like when he puts his little brother in the title, I'm like, nah, that's Fatty. Why you don't just put Fatty in the title instead of putting his little brother? It's kind of like he's kind of.
Oh, little brother schools me on. Yeah, I know.
Like everybody knows who the little brother is that been watching more than 10 minutes. It's Fatty. So it's like, I don't know if that's done to, they're brothers, but I don't know if they're the same father, I know they're the same mother. I'm not sure they're the same father, but it's like they don't look the same. Something I'm assuming different dads. But anyway, it's like he's if you put Fatty in there, then that Fatty would his what is it, the trends on the Witchcom, because his videos are going up, would bring Fatty's Witchcom more up. So I'm not sure if I'm not saying he's trying to like.
It's the clickbait. It's a culture of YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it, the title shit, yeah.
And when you say my little brother beats me in a wheelie battle,
right?
16-year-old little brother beats me in a wheelie battle. For people that have no clue who you are or who Fatty is, when they scroll across your shit, and that's the same thing with those titles, right? Those thumbnails.
Right.
That's the general, because when people scroll through that, like for people that stay on your channel and been on your channel for hella long, we get sick of seeing that. Yeah. But it's not for us. The content is for us. That title, that thumbnail is for whoever might randomly come across this. Like Max, the dude that left Max wrist, but he calls himself Maxie and whatever. So he clickbaits every single title and thumbnail. It don't have nothing to do with the video. He clickbaits it. And you'll see people that have been following him for years. They be in the comments like, yo, I'm fucking sick of you clickbaiting us with these thumbnails and the titles. I'm out of here. I'm bounced. I'm gone.
It's like you're trading those who want that for those who were with you before, and then you like start. So you just got to get there. I mean, from if you look at the evolution of my channel, the first like 100 or whatever videos they had, it was back in the day when nobody was doing like thumbnail. They weren't dressing up thumbnails. It was whatever the goddamn video put there.
I don't do thumbnails. I just screenshot something from the video and put it there.
Then you get I was making the things, the titles, and then now I got this little generator which makes it like seconds. I just type it in there and it just makes it, and that way it's cutting down on production time because obviously I got the shop to run, so I can't, I was sitting there double layering fucking shit and everything. And also it makes it pop. So with the YouTube shit and everything, and like it says, like certain things. So for me, I've done thumbnails, I've changed the title, but that's kind of where I don't have a team of guys like doing my translation for stuff. And that's where, if you want to do this, I kind of didn't mention before I got off topic, if you want to try to do this for a living, you got to get into SEO, you got to get into the metadata, you got to get into the category. Because sometimes when we talk on the thing, if it's a certain thing, I actually change the category depending on what we talk. So if I get a fucking NASA guy here, it's gonna change to education. And a lot of people don't realize, because I was putting sports car for everything. Cause I'm an auto shop, but I'm talking about fucking taxes and stocks. So I started doing that. But that's little easy shit I can click on and do. And the guys who want to do this, they want to cash out, and YouTube is going to be their NBA, NFL. You gotta. This shit ain't easy, man. This shit ain't easy. And when you see that the Beast guy we talked about, he ain't just. That's a lot of setup. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, and then he gets it all back. But that's a lot of setup and stuff, and it's not easy when you spend like I say, you go out and you spend $5,000 on a weekend to go shoot an event, and you get 4,000 views. I'm like, that's rough, man. And that's rough.
Things about. There's a couple of guys that talk about burnout on when you're putting a lot of output with less.
I did. I'm like, I just stopped. Like my channel for a year and a half, almost 2 years, I didn't upload shit because I was in a dispute with GT channel because they were not doing shit for me. They were taking my shit, and when I emailed them about it, they were like kept fucking blowing sunshine on my ass. And I'm like, look, man, you guys, since my account, I can't get out of my account, I can't get on my contract, I won't put shit up, and I didn't. So I was like, what I mean, I could have just not monetized it. I didn't know I could do that actually, and because they can't really make you turn on monetizing. You gotta check that box. So I kind of fucked myself there with hiatus, and then it is what it is, man. But hey, man, we said this was gonna be quick. This is quick for us because it's under 3 hours. And so we're gonna have consequently we're gonna have a mic set up for tomorrow, correct? Or he's good to go?
We're gonna follow up for tomorrow. He was gonna do it today, but he had to go.
That's all good. No, I like I say, man, I ain't doing that. I got what I'm going. I'm kind of ramping down, so I'll probably be on a little bit more because I definitely got shit to do. But 22nd is my end of year for my customers, so I'm just waiting on parts. That's why I had to go downstairs because I needed that box so I can knock a car out and get them out there and do what I got to do. So, man, this end of the year coming up, another, fortunate enough to see 22 right around the corner. I lost my grandma in October. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, man, that's why I got the kids up there doing that thing. Is like, I feel good. I'm healthy, but it's like, man, we don't know the time, the day, the second or whatever. And I'm not getting morbid, but it's like, just do your thing, man, and stop saying, I'm going to get to that shit next week or I'm going to do this, because that shit might not come. And you out there trying to, do your thing. So for me, my setup is to get my family squared the fuck away, and ain't nobody out there is going to impede that. And at the same time, like I say, when I got Lex here, when I got Mike coming on, whatever, that's why I value people's time, because they give me time out of their life now that they could be playing with this kid or doing whatever. He's talking to me, man. So guys there, man, my closing thought on that, man, is just like honor your time and honors people's time. And you'll be generally squared away, man. You'll have less resistance. Because one thing that pissed me off more than anything is some random motherfucker that I never knew, never met in my life, never seen him, and in my inbox telling me how it's going to be. Fuck out of here.
How it's going to be. Be like, what?
Yeah.
This the
dude, guess how many shits I didn't work on, how many parts I didn't sell that I had sitting there right next to me just because the motherfucker was like, hey man, do this and this by this time, and then send me a quote like, hold up, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I don't got it. I ain't got it no more.
Yeah, that's when you give them the heard you.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Actually, I got about 10 of those to answer. As soon as we click off here, I got 10 emails to answer. Like, nah, I want to do all this stuff and blah, 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 but I only want to spend $2K. Like, nah, actually, the ECU that you need to control, that's going to cost $2K. So we're done. So how you going to do all that? Like, I got to, like, I don't even get worried. I'm like, nah. ECU's 2K, you can't do it. Sorry, man. Later.
Right. Later.
Later. There's nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about. But hey, man, so we'll see you tomorrow and everything. We'll be over here. And this, of course, will roll out before the Mike's episode. So you kind of, this is one of the first times we talk on a podcast and kind of set up the next one and everything. So, yeah, man. It'll be pretty cool, man. So,
do it.
Yeah. Any closing statements, man? Or are you good?
You said it. There ain't no time like the presence. Do the shit that you want to do when you want to do it. If you're able to do it, be responsible about every fucking thing you do. Enjoy this holiday season because they trying to make it crazy. And what the fuck else? And fuck everybody that oppose. You know what I'm saying? Do you, man?
Roger that, man. Roger that. And like I said, I can't wait for the Transformers to drop out of the sky and shit get real crazy because that's the only thing we need to happen is we need a landing, dude. We need aliens to come and set this shit straight and start a fucking civil war and shit, us against them. And I think that'll bring everybody together, man. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying? We'll see. We'll see in the next episode if that's going to happen. I don't think so in 24 hours, though. But all right, man. Hey, guys, let that be easy. Thanks for signing in. Again, thank you for joining the thing. I ain't got nothing to raffle off, so sorry about that. And it's going to be Lex signing off from Richmond, California. And we got me signing off from Pinku Style, Massage Japan, and Mori. See you guys later. Peace.